Hypersonic flight is the next big leap in aviation, offering speeds faster than the speed of sound and leaving no trace behind other than a loud bang. Imagine cutting a flight from New York to London down to just 90 minutes. While companies like Hermes are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, in a surprising twist, Elon Musk's SpaceX is rumored to be working on a top-secret project that could revolutionize hypersonic travel. With Musk's track record of turning ambitious ideas into reality, could his latest venture be the breakthrough we've been waiting for? What does this mean for the future of air travel and global connectivity? Join us to find out if Elon Musk's hypersonic jet defies the speed of light. The quest for hypersonic flight represents the next frontier in aviation, promising to revolutionize air travel and reshape global connectivity. While commercial planes typically cruise at around 550 miles per hour, hypersonic flight aims to achieve speeds of Mach 5, which is about 3,836 miles per hour or higher. At these velocities, a journey from New York to London could be completed in just 90 minutes, drastically reducing current travel times. Companies like Hermes, Stratolaunch, and Hypersonics are at the forefront of this technological race. However, a surprising development has captured global attention. Elon Musk's SpaceX has unveiled the X-1, a revolutionary UFO fighter jet that challenges conventional aerospace technology. The X-1 promises to redefine air combat with its advanced technology and unprecedented capabilities. It can achieve hypersonic speeds of 4,600 miles per hour and features revolutionary camouflage technology that renders it virtually invisible to radar. The X-1's propulsion system, derived from SpaceX's Merlin and Raptor engines, enhances fuel efficiency by 30% compared to traditional military aircraft. While the X-1's primary focus appears to be military applications, its technological advancements could potentially influence the development of civilian hypersonic aircraft. The integration of such cutting-edge technology highlights the evolving landscape of global aerospace capabilities. These projects face significant challenges, including thermal management, propulsion efficiency, and the development of new materials capable of withstanding extreme temperatures. The intense heat generated at hypersonic speeds and the need for specialized propulsion systems are hurdles that engineers must overcome. Despite these obstacles, the potential applications of hypersonic technology extend beyond commercial travel to areas such as national security and space exploration. The development of safe, efficient, and economically viable hypersonic aircraft requires advancements in materials science, aerodynamics, and propulsion technology. While routine hypersonic flight may still be years away, the ongoing research and development in this field continue to push the boundaries of what's possible in aviation. Imagine a future where long-distance travel is faster than ever before, and it is possible to fly across the Atlantic Ocean in less time than it takes to watch a movie. The Concorde, a sleek and futuristic aircraft, made this dream a reality for over 27 years. Introduced in 1976, this supersonic passenger jet could fly at an impressive speed of 1,354 miles per hour, more than twice as fast as regular airplanes. This meant passengers could travel from New York to London in just under 3 hours, instead of the usual 7 to 8 hours. Despite its groundbreaking speed, the Concorde fell short of reaching hypersonic speeds, which start at Mach 5 or 3,836 miles per hour. Still, it remained an icon of aviation technology and luxury travel until its retirement in 2003. The final commercial Concorde flight took place on October 24, 2003, marking the end of an era in passenger aviation. Interestingly, the Concorde set a speed record even as it was heading to retirement. On November 5, 2003, a Concorde named G-Bog flew from New York to Seattle in just 3 hours, 55 minutes, and 12 seconds. This flight was part of the aircraft's journey to its final resting place at the Museum of Flight in Seattle. However, flying supersonic had its challenges. Due to noise concerns, supersonic flight over land was restricted in many countries, including the United States. This limitation meant that the Concorde could only reach its top speeds over oceans. For the record-breaking New York to Seattle flight, Canadian authorities had to grant special permission for the aircraft to fly at supersonic speeds over sparsely populated areas of Canada. The Concorde's retirement left a void in high-speed air travel. While it couldn't reach hypersonic speeds, it showed the world the potential of faster-than-sound passenger flight. Today, various companies are working on new technologies to pick up where the Concorde left off, aiming to make supersonic and even hypersonic travel a reality for future generations. Could a new era of air travel be on the horizon, where trips from New York to London are completed in just 90 minutes? Hyperspeed, an ambitious startup company, is working to make this incredible feat a reality. Founded in 2018, Hyperspeed aims to not only match the Concorde's achievements, but to surpass them by developing hypersonic passenger aircraft. Their goal is to create planes that can fly at speeds over Mach 5, or more than 5 times the speed of sound. To put this in perspective, the Concorde's fastest transatlantic flight from New York to London took 2 hours, 52 minutes, and 59 seconds. Hyperspeed plans to cut that time by more than half, offering passengers a mere 90-minute journey across the Atlantic. This would revolutionize international travel, making same-day round trips between continents a possibility. The company's CEO, AJ Piplica, has assembled a team of talented engineers from leading aerospace companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin. These experts bring valuable experience from the space industry, where achieving high speeds is crucial. Their shared vision is to bring the innovations of new space, the recent boom in private space exploration, to the world of aviation. Hyperspeed's first step towards this ambitious goal is the development of a prototype aircraft called Quarter Horse. This unmanned vehicle is designed to break speed records and prove the viability of the company's technologies. The team's ultimate target is to surpass the speed of the legendary Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, a reconnaissance aircraft that still holds the record for the fastest air-breathing crewed aircraft. To achieve these high speeds, Hyperspeed is developing its own engine called Chimera. This innovative propulsion system combines elements of traditional jet engines with more advanced technologies suitable for hypersonic flight. The engine's name is a nod to the fire-breathing monster from Greek mythology, reflecting its powerful and hybrid nature. Hyperspeed faces significant challenges in its quest for hypersonic passenger travel. These include managing the extreme heat generated at such high speeds, ensuring passenger safety and comfort, and addressing potential environmental concerns. Additionally, they'll need to navigate complex regulations surrounding supersonic and hypersonic flight over populated areas. As Hyperspeed continues to advance its technology, the possibility of routine hypersonic travel gets closer to reality. While it's still some time before booking a 90-minute flight across the Atlantic becomes an option, companies like Hyperspeed are pushing the boundaries of what air travel can achieve. As people dream of flying faster than ever before, one question comes to mind. How can engineers design an engine powerful enough to reach hypersonic speeds? At the heart of Hyperspeed's ambitious plan to develop hypersonic aircraft is a revolutionary engine called Chimera. Named after the fire-breathing monster from Greek mythology, this engine represents a fusion of different technologies, much like its mythical namesake combined parts of various animals. Chimera is what's known as a turbine-based combined cycle engine. This means it combines the best features of different types of jet engines to overcome the limitations of each. The main types of engines involved are turbojet, ramjet, and scramjet engines. Turbojet engines, which power most of today's commercial aircraft, work well from a standstill up to about twice the speed of sound that is Mach 2. However, they struggle to maintain speeds beyond this point. On the other hand, ramjets and scramjets excel at very high speeds, particularly above Mach 5, but they can't operate efficiently at low speeds or from a standstill. The Chimera engine aims to bridge this gap by using a turbojet for takeoff and initial acceleration, then switching to a ramjet mode for high-speed cruise. This combination allows the aircraft to take off from standard runways, accelerate to hypersonic speeds, and then maintain those speeds for extended periods. To develop this complex engine, Hyperspeed took an innovative approach. Instead of building everything from scratch, they used readily available off-the-shelf gas turbine engines for the initial turbojet component. This strategy saved them billions of dollars in development costs and years of time. For their first Chimera prototype, Hyperspeed chose the General Electric J85 turbojet engine. This engine has a long and successful history, having been used in various aircraft, including the Cessna A-37 Dragonfly and the Northrop F-5 fighter. The J-85 has logged over 16.5 million flight hours, proving its reliability and performance. In November 2022, Hermes achieved a significant milestone when they successfully demonstrated the transition from turbojet to ramjet mode in their Chimera engine. This transition is crucial for hypersonic flight, as it allows the engine to operate efficiently across a wide range of speeds. Building on this success, Hermes began developing Chimera 2, an improved version of the engine. For Chimera 2, they selected the more powerful Pratt & Whitney F100 engine as the turbojet core. The F100 is used in famous fighter jets like the F-15 Eagle and F-16 Fighting Falcon, and has accumulated over 30 million flight hours in service with air forces around the world. While Hermes used existing engines for the turbojet component, they developed other crucial parts of the Chimera engine in-house. These include the inlet, pre-cooler, ram burner, and bypass system. These components are essential for managing the extreme temperatures and pressures encountered during hypersonic flight. One of the most critical technologies Hermes is developing is an advanced cooling system. At hypersonic speeds, the air entering the engine becomes extremely hot due to friction, which can damage the engine components. The pre-cooler technology helps manage this heat, allowing the engine to operate safely at high speeds. In May 2024, Hermes began testing its proprietary cooling technology with the F100 engine, marking a significant step in the development of Chimera 2. This cooling system is expected to enable the engine to reach speeds of up to Mach 2.5 in its initial tests. The development of the Chimera engine represents a major technological challenge. Combining different types of jet propulsion into a single, efficient system requires solving complex engineering problems related to thermodynamics, materials science, and fluid dynamics. However, if successful, this engine could revolutionize air travel. Hermes's approach to engine development, combining off-the-shelf components with custom-built technologies, has allowed them to make rapid progress. They built and tested their first Chimera engine for just $18 million over 21 months, a fraction of the time and cost typically associated with developing new aerospace technologies. As Hermes continues to refine and test the Chimera engine, they're moving closer to their goal of hypersonic passenger travel. While there are still many challenges to overcome, the progress they've made with Chimera demonstrates the potential for significant advancements in aviation technology. If successful, engines like Chimera could usher in a new era of ultra-fast global travel, dramatically reducing flight times for long-distance journeys. As Hermes develops its groundbreaking Chimera engine, one might wonder, how do they plan to test and prove this revolutionary technology in real-world conditions? Their answer is in the Quarter Horse project, Hermes's ambitious plan to create a series of increasingly advanced aircraft to demonstrate their hypersonic capabilities. The Quarter Horse is not a single aircraft, but rather a family of prototypes, each designed to push the boundaries of speed and performance a little further than its predecessor. The project is divided into 4 main stages, each represented by a different version of the Quarter Horse: Mk0, Mk1, Mk2, and Mk3. Let's explore each of these stages and what they mean for the future of hypersonic flight. The journey begins with the Quarter Horse Mk0, a ground test vehicle designed to evaluate various systems and their integration before any actual flight takes place. In early 2024, Hermes announced the completion of tests on the Mk0 at the Air Force's Arnold Engineering Development Complex in Tennessee. During these tests, the Mk0 achieved several important milestones. The team demonstrated their ability to control the vehicle from a distance, an essential feature for future unmanned flights. The Mk0 successfully moved on the ground, simulating pre-flight operations. They tested the speed and reliability of communications between the vehicle and ground control, and assessed how well the vehicle maneuvered on the ground. The team verified that the vehicle's systems functioned properly during simulated flight conditions, and pilots conducted simulated flight operations to ensure the vehicle's controls were intuitive and effective. What's particularly impressive is that Hermes designed and built the Mk0 in just 6 months and completed all these tests in only 37 days. This rapid development cycle demonstrates the company's agile approach to aerospace engineering. Building on the success of the Mk0, Hermes unveiled the Quarter Horse Mk1 in March 2024. This version is designed to take to the air, with its first flight scheduled for late 2024 from the historic Edwards Air Force Base in California. The Mk1 is a remotely piloted vehicle meaning it will fly without a human on board. Its main purpose is to demonstrate high-speed takeoff and landing capabilities, which are crucial for any future hypersonic aircraft. These tests will help prove that Hermes's technology can operate safely and effectively in real-world conditions. Like its predecessor, the Mk1 was developed quickly, with the entire process from design to completion taking just 7 months. This rapid iteration allows Hermes to learn and improve their designs faster than traditional aerospace development cycles. Both the Mk0 and Mk1 use the Chimera engine based on the General Electric J85, which provides a solid foundation for testing the company's innovative propulsion concepts. The next step in the quarter-horse project is the Mk2, which will feature the more advanced Chimera 2 engine. This engine uses the Pratt & Whitney F100 as its core, providing significantly more power than the J85 used in earlier versions. In May 2024, Hermes began testing its proprietary cooling technology with the F100 engine, marking a major milestone in the development of the Mk2. This cooling system is crucial for managing the extreme temperatures generated during high-speed flight. The goal for the quarter-horse Mk2 is to break the sound barrier and demonstrate autonomous supersonic flight at speeds up to Mach 2.5, about 1,918 miles per hour. This would be more than twice as fast as the Concorde's cruising speed and would represent a significant step towards hypersonic flight. The final planned iteration of the quarter-horse project is the Mk3, which represents Hermes's most ambitious goals. With this version, the company aims to demonstrate the transition from turbojet to ramjet mode in flight, a critical capability for reaching hypersonic speeds. More importantly, Hermes hopes the Mk3 will break the all-time airspeed record currently held by the legendary SR-71 Blackbird. The Blackbird, a reconnaissance aircraft developed in the 1960s, set a speed record of 2,193.2 miles per hour, equivalent to Mach 2.85 in 1976. This record has stood for nearly half a century, highlighting the significant challenge Hermes faces. The ultimate goal for the quarter-horse Mk3 is to reach Mach 4, which is about 3,069 miles per hour. While this falls short of the Mach 5 threshold for hypersonic flight, it would represent a massive leap forward in aviation technology and bring Hermes much closer to their dream of hypersonic passenger travel. As exciting as the quarter-horse project is, it faces numerous challenges. At extremely high speeds, friction with the air generates intense heat that can damage the aircraft. Developing materials and cooling systems to withstand these temperatures is crucial. The Chimera engine must operate efficiently across a wide range of speeds, from takeoff to hypersonic cruise. The aircraft's shape must be carefully designed to minimize drag and manage shock waves at high speeds. High-speed flight requires enormous amounts of energy, so fuel efficiency is a major concern. The noise and emissions from hypersonic aircraft could face regulatory hurdles. Any passenger aircraft must meet extremely high safety standards, which becomes more challenging at hypersonic speeds. Despite these challenges, Hermes has made impressive progress. Their ability to rapidly design, build, and test new prototypes allows them to iterate and improve their technology quickly. This agile approach, combined with their innovative use of off-the-shelf components, has helped them advance their project faster and more cost-effectively than traditional aerospace development methods. While Hermes hasn't set a specific date for the Mk3's record attempt, their rapid development pace suggests it could happen within the next few years. The company is closely monitoring its production timelines and the team's ability to meet milestones. With Hermes making rapid strides in hypersonic technology, what does the future hold for this ambitious startup? Hermes has garnered significant support from influential organizations and individuals in the aerospace and technology sectors. NASA, the U.S. Air Force, and Sam Altman, the co-founder of OpenAI, have all invested in the company. This backing, amounting to hundreds of millions of dollars, demonstrates the confidence these entities have in Hermes's vision and potential. The support from NASA and the U.S. Air Force is particularly noteworthy, as it suggests potential applications of Hermes's technology beyond commercial travel. Hypersonic aircraft could have important implications for national security and space exploration. Looking ahead, Hermes faces both exciting opportunities and significant challenges. The company's ambitious goal of breaking the SR-71 Blackbird's speed record in 2025 will be a crucial test of their technology. If successful, it could pave the way for further advancements in hypersonic travel. However, Hermes must also address concerns about the environmental impact of hypersonic flight, ensure the safety and comfort of future passengers, and navigate complex international regulations governing supersonic and hypersonic flight over populated areas. Despite these hurdles, the substantial investment and rapid progress made by Hermes indicate a promising future for hypersonic travel. If their plans come to fruition, we might soon see a revolution in long-distance air travel. The world is about to experience something revolutionary and unstoppable: the X-44 Manta. As tensions rise between the United States and technologically advanced nations like China and Russia, the timing of this aircraft's development couldn't be more critical. Aside from the perfect timing, its capabilities are unparalleled, sending lethal shockwaves across the globe. With its hypersonic speeds, invisibility to radar, and revolutionary parallax stealth coating, the Manta is ready for battle. What makes this jet special? Does Russia or China have technologies that can counter the Manta? Join us as we explore the features of this advanced aircraft that shocked Russia and China. The X-44 Manta is one of the most secretive and exciting projects in U.S. military aviation. Developed by Lockheed Martin, this jet stands out because it was designed without a tail, something that made it very different from other aircraft at the time. Like every other exceptional aircraft that USAF has revealed to the world, the X-44 Manta has quite a history. NASA and the U.S. Air Force started working on the Manta aircraft in May 1999, with the first prototype expected to take flight by 2007. The project was funded by the government and two companies. During this time, the Pentagon started focusing on improving aerodynamics and stealth technology, giving the famous Lockheed Martin the chance to develop the Manta. This fighter jet was designed without a tail, which made it very interesting. This choice allowed the Manta to greatly lower its radar visibility and become more maneuverable. It could fly at incredible speeds of 1,740 miles per hour and reach heights of up to 68,900 feet for reconnaissance missions. These features made it perfect for the most challenging tasks. However, things took an unexpected turn. Suddenly, the project was classified, and information about it began to vanish from public view. The Pentagon didn't comment, which only made people more curious. Many began to wonder if the aircraft was so powerful and advanced that its existence had to be kept secret, even from allies. One thing was clear: the X-44 Manta wasn't just an airplane. It represented a major leap in technology. This jet was meant to prove that a plane could be controlled entirely by vectored thrust without the need of traditional flight surfaces like a tail or vertical stabilizers. By cutting out the tail and rudder, this aircraft could fly stealthily under the radar and be much more efficient, controlling its movement through powerful thrust from its engines. Based on the F-22 Raptor, a fighter jet that has dominated the skies for centuries, the Manta kept the same engine and fuselage but introduced a delta wing and tailless design. This meant there would be no flight control surfaces, just pure control from the engines. By modifying the Raptor's existing nozzles, the Manta would handle yaw, pitch, and roll with advanced thrust vectoring. Not only would this make it simpler mechanically, but it would also boost its fuel efficiency, giving it more range due to its larger wings. The Manta can zoom up to Mach 1 in just seconds, setting a record for fighter jets. Its special shape and advanced stealth coating, called parallax. If you're wondering how this parallax stealth coating works, well, here it is. This stealth coating is a groundbreaking technology that makes the aircraft almost invisible, both to radar and the human eye. It works by creating an advanced form of camouflage. This coating can adapt to its surroundings, blending the aircraft into the sky or ground, giving the illusion that the plane has disappeared. What makes this even more impressive is its ability to function like a camera and display system. The coating captures images from one side of the aircraft and projects them onto the other. For instance, if someone is looking up at the plane from the ground, they would see the sky reflected on the bottom of the plane, making it nearly impossible to spot with the naked eye. In addition to this visual invisibility, the parallax coating also has radar-absorbing properties. scattering and absorbing radar waves to prevent detection by enemy systems. This combination of visual and radar stealth makes the Manta incredibly difficult to detect, allowing it to carry out stealth missions with a significant tactical advantage. At first, the project was so secret that many thought it had been canceled or didn't exist at all. But new info from the Pentagon shows that not only is the Manta real, but it's being improved to handle the toughest combat missions. However, this is not the only feature that makes this aircraft exceptional. The X-44 fighter is armed with the latest weapon systems, including hypersonic missiles that can strike targets accurately within 16 feet. These missiles can fly at speeds of 2,850 miles per hour, which regular air defense systems can't keep up with, making the Manta almost unbeatable in battle. The aircraft also carries smart bombs that can hit targets with very little error, even when moving fast. Picture this. The Manta can fly at speeds of up to 1,740 miles per hour while remaining completely hidden. Even without its weapons, this aircraft is incredibly powerful and dangerous. This plane is truly a game changer, and there are rumors it might even have an electromagnetic gun. Whether that's true or not, one thing is clear. The X-44 Manta will play a key role in future conflicts. Here's an interesting fact. The X-44 Manta wasn't the only supersonic project that the USAF worked on in the 1990s. Let's explore the details of some of these projects, beginning with the FB-22. The Lockheed Martin/Boeing FB-22 was a suggested supersonic stealth bomber designed for the United States Air Force. Just like the Manta, its design was based on the F-22 Raptor. Lockheed Martin proposed this idea as a temporary regional bomber to support the older U.S. strategic bomber fleet. However, after the 2006 Quadrennial Defense Review suggested a new and larger next-generation bomber, by 2018, Lockheed Martin stopped working on the FB-22 concept. This new program eventually became known as the Long Range Strike Bomber. In 1999, the Air Force published a white paper about long-range bombers, saying that its current strategic bombers, which include the B-52, B-1, and B-2, would be enough until around 2037. After that, they would need a new type of bomber. However, this timeline was questioned in the 2001 Department of Defense Quadrennial Defense Review. This review pointed out growing threats to the United States, military power, like advanced enemy air defense systems, which only stealth aircraft could bypass. The paper also suggested a shift from relying on nuclear weapons to using conventional bombing. Because of this situation, some Air Force officials started thinking about an interim strike capability, such as regional bombers, to support the current fleet while they looked into longer-term replacement options. In 2001, Lockheed Martin started studying whether the FB-22 could work, aiming to use the design and features of the F-22 Raptor from the Advanced Tactical Fighter program. These studies looked at how well the bomber could survive against advanced enemy air defense systems and fighter jets. The lessons learned from Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan showed the need for a bomber that could hit targets quickly and stay in the area, especially when there were no surface-to-air missiles. While the F-22 was mainly designed as an air superiority fighter, it also had some ability to strike ground targets accurately using Joint Direct Attack munitions, with plans for further upgrades. One main goal of these studies was to enhance the F-22's fast air-to-ground attack ability while keeping costs low. Lockheed Martin came up with several designs that included major changes to the fuselage and wings, but kept much of the F-22's electronics. One early design, called FB-22-1, involved lengthening and widening the fuselage to carry more weapons. Another design, the FB-22-2, had a stretched mid-fuselage to increase the main weapon bay capacity and featured a larger delta wing with a greater leading edge angle, while removing the horizontal tails. However, it was later discovered that these changes would increase costs by 25 to 30% due to added weight and materials. So the company decided to keep the fuselage mostly the same while making the diamond-shaped delta wing larger, using the same angles as the F-22. Several designs for the FB-22 were explored. The FB-22-3 kept the regular fuselage but had larger delta wings and no stabilators. The FB-22-4 was similar, but featured even bigger wings that met the top of the air intake. These large wings, about 3 times the size of the F-22's wings, allowed for carrying a lot more weapons and fuel. As a stealth bomber, the FB-22 was designed to carry weapons on the outside while still being stealthy, using special detachable pods called wing weapons bays. This was different from previous aircraft, which had to carry weapons inside to maintain stealth. This aircraft could hold 30 to 35 small-diameter bombs, compared to the F-22's ability to carry only 8 of those bombs. The main weapon bay doors were bulged to fit larger 2,000-pound bombs in the fuselage. Using the wing weapons bay, the FB-22 could carry bombs weighing up to 5,000 pounds, like the GBU-37 GAM, or two 2,000-pound bombs stacked together. With its stealth features, the maximum combat load was planned to be 15,000 pounds. And without stealth, it could carry up to 30,000 pounds. The combat range of the aircraft was nearly tripled, from 600 nautical miles to over 1,600 nautical miles, which could be extended with extra fuel tanks. This put the aircraft in the regional bomber category, similar to the F-111, meant to replace the F-15E Strike Eagle and take on some roles of the B-1 and B-2 bombers. To help with the increased range and workload, Lockheed Martin planned to extend the forward fuselage by 60 inches to add a second pilot who would also act as a weapons systems officer. According to Air Force magazine, the range and payload of the FB-22 would have made it nearly as effective as the B-2 carrying 2,000-pound bombs. The aircraft would have still used Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines, but modified for more power and better performance at slower speeds, rather than high-speed cruising. Some designs for the FB-22 did not include tailplanes, drawing from research from the X-44 Manta program, while most proposals included twin tailplanes and likely fixed-engine nozzles, unlike the thrust-vectoring nozzles of the F-22. Although not built for supercruise, it could achieve supersonic speeds with afterburners for urgent targets. The maximum speed varied by model, with the faster FB-22-2 reaching about Mach 1.92, while the FB-22-4 with larger wings would reach around Mach 1.5. Since the FB-22 focused on air-to-ground missions while staying stealthy, it didn't have the dogfighting abilities of the F-22, but could carry AIM-9 Sidewinders and AIM-120 AMRAAMs for self-defense against enemy fighters. During the early design process, it was decided that Boeing would handle the final assembly of the FB-22. At that time, Lockheed Martin was making the middle section of the fuselage in Fort Worth, Texas, and assembling the F-22 in Marietta, Georgia. Since Boeing was already making parts of the fuselage, especially the wings, and integrating the avionics, it made sense for them to do the final assembly in Seattle, Washington. Aside from the wings, the FB-22 would have kept around 80% of the F-22's design, including its avionics, software, and flight controls. This shared design would help lower the costs of integrating the software. In February 2003, Air Force Secretary James Roach told the House Committee on Armed Services that he hoped to have a fleet of 150 FB-22s for the Air Force. In 2004, Lockheed Martin officially introduced the FB-22 to meet the Air Force's need for a potential strategic bomber as a temporary solution, aiming for it to be ready by 2018. Since a lot of work had already been done on the F-22, it was estimated that developing the FB-22 would cost about 25% of what it would take to create a new bomber, with total development costs expected to be around $5 to $7 billion. This included an airframe cost of about $1 billion. It was later found out that 6 different versions of the bomber were proposed, as the targets, payloads, and ranges were not yet determined. However, the FB-22 was canceled after the 2006 Quadrennial Defense Review, as the Department of Defense decided to focus on a new strategic bomber with a longer range that would enter service in 2018. The Air Force then started the Next Generation Bomber program to achieve this goal, which later changed to the Long-Range Strike Bomber program, resulting in the B-21 Raider. The general characteristics of the aircraft include a crew of 2, consisting of a pilot and a co-pilot weapons systems operator. It measures 64 feet 4 inches in length, has a wingspan of 73 feet 8 inches, and a wing area of over 1,700 square feet with a 4.45 thickness airfoil. The maximum takeoff weight is 120,000 pounds, and it has an internal fuel capacity of over 43,000 pounds, powered by 2 modified Pratt & Whitney F-119 afterburn turbofans. In terms of performance, the aircraft can achieve a maximum speed of over Mach 1.5 at altitude, with a range of 3,600 nautical miles and a combat range of 1,477 nautical miles when utilizing a 100 nautical mile supersonic dash. Its subsonic range extends to 1,800 nautical miles, and it can withstand G limits of +6 G. For armament, the aircraft features 8 internal hardpoints located in 3 weapons bays and 4 underwing hardpoints, allowing for a total capacity of 15,000 pounds internally and 30,000 pounds overall. The internal missile loadout can include 6 AIM-120 MRAMs and 2 AIM-9 Sidewinders. The wing pylons can hold 4 AIM-120 AMRAAMs along with either 2 AGM-154 JSOWs or 2 AGM-158 JSSMs. In terms of bombs, the internal loadout can consist of 12 GBU-39 small-diameter bombs or 2 GBU-31/32 Joint Direct Attack munitions, while the wing pylons can carry 12 GBU-39s in low-observable wing weapons bays or 2 GBU-31/32 JDAMs or 2 GBU-37 GPS-aided munitions. The United States is not the only country with impressive conceptual aircraft designs and advanced supersonic fighters. Countries like Russia and China are also fully invested in the creation of really advanced fighters, for instance, the Su-34. Let's check out its capabilities and compare its strength with that of the United States. The Sukhoi Su-34 is a Russian fighter bomber that can fly in any weather. It has 2 engines and 2 seats and is built for medium-range missions. The aircraft first flew in 1990 for the Soviet Air Forces and started service with the Russian Air Force in 2014. The design of this aircraft is based on the Sukhoi Su-27, a fighter jet known for air superiority. It has a reinforced cockpit and seats its 2 pilots side by side. The Su-34 is mainly designed for attacking ground and sea targets, whether alone or in groups, both during the day and at night, in good or bad weather, and in dangerous situations where it might face counterattacks and electronic warfare. It is also used for aerial reconnaissance. It is set to replace the older Su-24 and Tu-22M bombers in the future. It shares many features with the Su-27 and Su-30, including its wings, tail, and engine nacelles. Like the Su-30 MKI and Su-33, it has canards to improve maneuverability and reduce drag. Powered by 2 Saturn AL-31FM1 engines, it can reach speeds over Mach 1.8 when fully loaded. Although it's a bit slower than the Su-27, it can still handle high G-forces and perform aerobatics. With a full weapons load, it has a range of 4,000 kilometers, and it can go even farther with aerial refueling. Its airframe can handle up to +9 G, and it's much quieter than older models, producing only half the noise. Its design includes 3 lifting surfaces, a conventional tailplane at the back, and a canard foreplane up front, which makes it more maneuverable. It also has twin tail fins like the Su-27, and it can carry up to 12,000 to 14,000 kilograms of weapons on 12 hardpoints. These weapons include the latest Russian precision-guided missiles. It's armed with a 30mm GSH-31 cannon, and it can carry up to 6 air-to-air missiles, like the R-77 and R-73, mainly for defense. Some of its standoff weapons have a range of up to 250 kilometers, and it comes equipped with a Kibini ECM system for protection against threats. What makes the Su-34 stand out from other flanker jets is its unique duckbill nose, earning it nicknames like Duckling, Hellduck, and Platypus. Inside, the cockpit is built for comfort, with 2 pilots sitting side by side. This layout allows them to share instruments, making it more efficient. The cabin is spacious enough for them to stand and even lie down during long flights. It also has a small toilet and kitchen, making long missions more bearable. The crew enters the cockpit through a ladder built into the nose landing gear, and the cockpit is protected by 17 millimeters of armor. The Leninets V004 radar can follow the terrain and avoid obstacles, with a range of 200 to 250 kilometers for large targets. A second radar in the rear watches for threats from behind, allowing the Su-34 to fire R-73 missiles at pursuing aircraft without needing to turn. The main radar can track 10 targets at once and attack up to 4. Fighter-sized targets can be detected up to 120 kilometers away. The Pika-M radar, tested in 2016, extends detection range up to 300 kilometers, and is now installed in some upgraded Su-34s, improving their ability to detect and engage air and ground threats. This aircraft is quite unique and powerful, making it a formidable force to contend with. While the X-44 is an American conceptual aircraft design, the Su-37 is fully developed fighter jet. The USAF has unveiled something truly magnificent, an aircraft that would transform the skies. Since the retirement of the legendary Blackbird, the United States has been developing a successor that not only matches, but surpasses its capabilities. With speed that is even more exceptional than the SR-71 and advanced technology designed to confront the most advanced threats, this new aircraft is set to dominate the skies. Its unparalleled power and innovation are set to revolutionize military operations worldwide. Just how advanced is this aircraft? How will it reshape the future of warfare? Join us as we explore the groundbreaking strengths of the U.S. top-secret SR-72 Darkstar. 35 years ago this December, the government revealed a top-secret spy plane that was so advanced it could fly to the edge of space and cross the country in just an hour. The aircraft, shaped like a needle, had powerful jet engines that pushed it 35 miles a minute. Made with Russian titanium and painted in a dark black color, it looked like something out of a science fiction movie. By the time the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird was retired in 1989, it had made its mark in history for flying faster and higher than any other plane. Thinking of an aircraft that would replace this seemed unbelievable. But a while after its retirement, a brilliant aviation company came up with an idea. In 2019, the USAF revealed something extremely mind-blowing. An aircraft that would finally take over from the Blackbird, the SR-72. This aircraft, also known as the Son of Blackbird, is an American hypersonic unmanned aircraft idea designed for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. It was proposed by Lockheed Martin in 2013 as the replacement for the retired SR-71 Blackbird. In 2018, Lockheed Martin executives said a test version of the SR-72 could fly by 2025 and be ready for service in the 2030s. Although there were initial doubts about its existence, the SR-72 may have just gotten more proof that it exists and is moving closer to being ready for use. After working on it in secret for 7 years, this aircraft finally announced it to the public in 2013. Along with the announcement, Lockheed Martin ran a media campaign, sharing interviews with Brad Leland, their Hypersonics program manager, who had been leading the project for those 7 years. Leland mentioned that a plane capable of flying extremely fast paired with hypersonic missiles could fly into enemy territory and strike nearly anywhere on a continent in under an hour. He believed speed would be the next big breakthrough in aviation, helping the U.S. face growing threats in the future. Let's delve into the capabilities of the Blackbird's successor. It all started when Paramount Pictures approached Lockheed Martin during the production of Top Gun: Maverick. They needed an aircraft so fast it would make their star, Maverick, the fastest man alive. But what the studio didn't know was that Lockheed Martin's secretive Skunk Works division was already working on something even more unbelievable. A top-secret aircraft that would redefine the limits of speed. Skunk Works. The name itself sounds strange, doesn't it? Its origin goes back to the Second World War, when a team of Lockheed engineers led by Kelly Johnson worked in a smelly tent near a plastic factory. Inspired by the comic strip Lil Abner and its Skunk Works factory, they adopted the name, which stuck. But don't let the odd name fool you. Skunk Works is responsible for some of the most advanced and deadly aircraft in the world, like the F-22 Raptor and the F-35 Lightning II. But why was Lockheed Martin already working on this project? Since the retirement of the SR-71 in 1998, they had been chasing a dream: to create a fighter that could exceed even the legendary Blackbird's speed. The SR-72, codenamed Darkstar, was their answer. And they weren't starting from scratch. They had learned valuable lessons from developing the Hypersonic Technology Vehicle 2, a rocket launch craft that soared at Mach 20. That knowledge would now be used to build something even more astonishing. Earlier this year, Lockheed Martin's Brad Leland hinted that the future of warfare would belong to speed. Hypersonic aircraft like the SR-72 could zip through restricted airspace and strike targets in less than an hour. This was more than just an idea, it was the next frontier in military aviation, a revolution as groundbreaking as stealth technology. The SR-72 is designed with materials stronger than the titanium skin of its predecessor. Carbon-carbon composites would allow it to handle intense heat at incredible speeds. And its capabilities didn't stop there. The Dark Star would be equipped with cutting-edge avionics, possibly even artificial intelligence, to assist in its hypersonic missions. This high-speed technology could shake things up, much like stealth technology does now. As mentioned earlier, the SR-72 would use a new kind of engine that could switch between different types to boost its performance. Leland explained that the engine would start with a regular turbofan, possibly from companies like Pratt & Whitney or General Electric, and allow the SR-72 to take off and reach supersonic speeds. But when the jet neared Mach 3, the second part of the engine would kick in, providing more power. This second part, a dual-mode ramjet, would use the fast-moving air to create shock waves, which would compress the air and make the engine run even faster. AET Rocketdyne helped develop this engine, which was originally meant for the SR-72 to fly over Mach 6 for intelligence gathering and strike missions. The aircraft could carry bombs or missiles to hit ground targets. Brad Leland from Lockheed mentioned the plane could even be used to launch hypersonic missiles, although it's more likely it will carry cheaper weapons specifically designed for hypersonic speeds. The US is working on several hypersonic missiles, but they are much more expensive than regular ones. Firing weapons at such high speeds is difficult because of the heat and pressure, but it's possible, as Lockheed showed with its YF-12, which fired air-to-air missiles above Mach 3. Unlike these spy planes, which fly below the speed of sound and rely on their location and time to collect data, the SR-72 would be much faster. For instance, the MQ-9 can stay in the air for more than 24 hours, but only flies at 230 miles per hour, meaning it would take over an hour to travel from New York to Boston. The SR-72, flying at Mach 6, could make that same trip in under 5 minutes and fly from New York to Los Angeles in about 30 minutes. But speed isn't the only thing the Dark Star has up its sleeve. The aircraft's agility is unmatched, capable of outmaneuvering anything in the sky. Its cockpit is designed to become one with the pilot, allowing for split-second decisions that could mean life or death. This is no ordinary aircraft. It's a predator, built to dominate the skies. Then there's its weaponry. Conventional bombs and missiles are too slow for an aircraft like the SR-72. Instead, it's armed with laser weapons, beams of light that can destroy targets with deadly precision. The aircraft's laser system boasts a power output of 350 kilowatts that can cut through inches of steel with terrifying ease. The Dark Star also has a design feature straight out of science fiction, a cockpit invisible from the front, much like the X-59. And just like in Top Gun Maverick, it uses synthetic vision to see what's ahead. In fact, a port on its fuselage is affectionately called R2-D2, a nod to the Star Wars droid, hinting at the advanced navigation systems on board. But the SR-72 isn't just about breaking records. It's being designed with the future battlefield in mind. Its hypersonic speed and stealth will give the US a major advantage in any future conflict, especially with countries like Russia and China. Its rapid intelligence gathering and strike capabilities could change the way wars are fought, enabling the US to strike fast, disappear, and leave adversaries helpless. There's one challenge, though: stealth. At hypersonic speeds, radar-absorbing materials can't handle the heat. The aircraft might leave a detectable trail, much like the SR-71 did. But with its speed, the Dark Star can outrun anything thrown at it, making these concerns more theoretical than real. As for its future, the SR-72 is being considered for the US Air Force's Next Generation Air Dominance, or NGAD fighter program. It will feature advanced sensors, laser weapons, and an open architecture that allows for easy upgrades. An aircraft designed not just for today, but for decades to come. The SR-72's greatest strength may be its ability to quickly gather intelligence on targets anywhere in the world, which would be very useful in conflicts across large areas like the Pacific. While satellites can watch the Earth constantly, they can't cover everything, and their orbits can be predicted, making it easier for enemies to hide. That's why the US is developing advanced spy planes, including the RQ-1880, which remains largely secret. In June 2017, Rob Weiss from Skunkworks said they had completed testing the SR-72's engine and were starting work on a research version of the plane. This version was about the size of an F-22 and could take off with a regular engine, break the sound barrier, and switch to a dual-mode scramjet to reach speeds over Mach 6. By September 2017, witnesses reported seeing this aircraft flying over Palmdale, California, where Skunkworks is based. In early 2018, another Skunkworks leader, Jack O'Ban, confirmed that the SR-72 was already flying successfully. However, when Russian President Vladimir Putin revealed new Mach 5+ missile systems in a speech later that year, it triggered a hypersonic arms race. After Putin's speech, Lockheed Martin stopped publicly talking about the SR-72, even removing information about it from their website. However, work continued behind the scenes. In 2022, Lockheed took a significant financial hit on a secret project, but later news revealed a contract had been adjusted, suggesting the project was still progressing. With costs now exceeding $335 million, the SR-72 project clearly has a substantial budget. A major clue that the SR-72 is moving into production is the new factory built at Skunkworks' Palmdale site. This large facility, called Building 648, is designed to mass-produce hypersonic aircraft. Completed in 2021, the factory uses advanced technology like AI, augmented reality, and robots to speed up the production process. These robots were first used to build the X-59 test aircraft, and it seems Building 648 is now set to produce the SR-72. The future of aviation is quite exciting, and in a few years, the world would experience technologies that were once thought impossible, things that were only possible in movies. The United States is working on new aircraft that the world is not ready for. Let's explore some of the capabilities of. Over the past year, both China and Russia have continued to improve their fighter jets. Russia is working on a new engine design for the Su-57, and China is upgrading its J-20 Mighty Dragon jet. These advancements highlight how important the U.S. Air Force's next-generation air dominance program has become. Since 2015, the U.S. Congress has given more than $4.2 billion to the NGAD program to help replace or upgrade the F-22 jets by 2030. While there hasn't been much recent news about NGAD or the Navy's similar F/AXX program, there's still a lot to learn about NGAD's progress. The main goal of NGAD is to create new technologies that ensure air superiority, meaning the U.S. would have control in the sky during battles without facing major threats from enemy planes or missiles. While NGAD aims to replace the F-22, it also focuses on developing a variety of technologies that ensure continued dominance in the air. Air superiority, as defined by the Department of Defense, is having enough control in the air to carry out missions without serious interference from enemy forces. The NGAD program might create a single new aircraft or a combination of systems, which could include manned, unmanned, or even cyber and electronic components. These designs may be very different from traditional fighter jets. Currently, there is no sign that the Air Force is building a traditional fighter jet meant for close dogfights. However, in June 2022, the Air Force reported that NGAD's technologies had advanced enough for the program to move into the next phase, focusing on engineering, manufacturing, and design. The Air Force has revealed that it's developing 4 key technologies as part of the NGAD program. These includes the propulsion system. The Air Force is investing in advanced engines through the Advanced Engine Technology Program. The goal is to boost power generation and improve cooling at the same time. Another aspect that makes it stand out is its uncrewed systems. In 2022, the Secretary of the Air Force, Frank Kendall, confirmed that uncrewed aircraft are being developed to support NGAD. While the Air Force hasn't shared details, experts think these drones could be used for intelligence, electronic warfare, or carrying extra weapons. Also, the NGAD program is exploring new composite materials and structures. The Air Force's budget for 2022 mentions using low-cost designs and manufacturing methods, especially for uncrewed vehicles. This next-generation fighter is likely focused on creating advanced radar, infrared sensors, and improved cameras. In terms of budget, in June 2022, NGAD requested $1.6 billion 2022 for 2023, with plans to spend $11.7 billion between 2024 and 2027. Secretary Kendall further revealed that each aircraft will cost hundreds of millions of dollars. What aviation company is in charge of overseeing the development of this futuristic aircraft? To answer that, several companies are working on NGAD, though the Air Force hasn't announced contractors yet. In May, it sent out a classified call for contract bids and plans to award contracts in 2024. Lockheed Martin and Boeing are expected to be top contenders, with Textron and General Atomics also involved. This sixth-generation fighter is also part of the Air Force's effort to redesign its acquisition process. This new approach aims to separate contracts for design, production, and maintenance, allowing more companies, even those not traditionally involved in military aviation, to participate. The push for a new process may come from lessons learned with the F-35 program, the most expensive weapons system in DoD history, costing over $1.7 trillion. While over 900 F-35s have been delivered, the program has faced delays in technology development and added maintenance costs, partly due to problems with the cooling system. For the next few years, NGAD will likely stay focused on research, with plans to get production aircraft or systems ready around 2030. Even if the NGAD flight model becomes ready for production, it could still take several years to set up the necessary factories because of complex manufacturing steps. Plus, things like budget limits or pressure from Congress could slow down the process. There are other similar programs besides NGAD. The Navy is working on its own program, FA-XX, which has asked for $9 billion for a new fighter jet. Retaining the FA designation, the FA-XX is presented as an upgrade rather than a completely new aircraft. It features advanced stealth design elements, such as planar separation and hidden engine fan blades to reduce radar detectability. The jet will have internal weapon storage, including a primary bay for various munitions and hypersonic missiles, enhancing its stealth profile. This airfighter will integrate sophisticated AI for data management, flight control, and coordination with drones, effectively making it a combat hub. It will feature a custom helmet for pilots instead of a traditional heads-up display, improving situational awareness. The jet is expected to have superior maneuverability and utilize an adaptive cycle engine capable of switching between high thrust and fuel efficiency. Designed with heavy-duty landing gear for carrier operations, the FA-XX may also include thrust vectoring and canards for enhanced performance and maneuverability. The aircraft may feature an optional unmanned capability, allowing it to sustain higher G-forces and act as a drone commander. The XX in its name indicates the lack of a specific number, while the FA designation underscores its attack mission focus, aligning it with the legacy of the FA-18 Hornet and Super Hornet. This new airfighter aims for an open architecture design, allowing various sensors, payloads, and weapons to be swapped in and out to suit different mission needs on different days or sorties. This design will likely depend on the new propulsion systems developed by the aircraft industry. While the Navy is collaborating with the U.S. Air Force to develop a next-generation tactical fighter with supercruise capabilities, there is a significant disagreement about whether the Air Force's adaptive cycle jet engine technology, which adjusts bypass and compression airflow for better efficiency, can be effectively scaled for a carrier-based fighter. The Chief of Naval Operations, Jonathan Greenert, suggested in February that the aircraft would not primarily focus on speed or stealth like older jets, due to advancements in detection and anti-aircraft weapons. Instead, it would rely on a mix of stealth, technology, maneuverability, and speed, along with a variety of advanced weapons to overpower enemy defenses and ensure survivability and dominance. One approach might involve a cost-effective F/A-XX equipped with expensive, high-performance weapons to counter threats. According to the Navy's Naval Integrated Fire Control Counter-Air concept, the aircraft wouldn't need all sensors on board, but would use data from other sources for targeting and guiding weapons. It would be designed to carry missiles, have systems for directed energy weapons, and sensors for targeting small radar cross-section targets, and include cyber warfare capabilities at a tactical level as part of a broader system. Allies of the U.S., such as France, Germany, Britain, Italy, Spain, and Japan are also spending a lot of money on their next-generation fighter jets. The Future Combat Air System is the air superiority program used by the French, German, and Spanish militaries. A high-stakes battle for dominance is unfolding in space. Russia and China, armed with hypersonic missiles and powerful lasers, are constantly targeting America's satellites, which keep watch over the Earth from orbit. In response, the U.S. has made a bold countermove, launching a network of satellites designed to detect any threat headed towards Earth. But they didn't stop there. The U.S. has introduced a game-changing weapon that's sending ripples through the stars. Could this be the ultimate space defense? Or are we racing toward a space arms race with no turning back, risking Earth's safety in the process? Join us as we explore the U.S. testing its most dangerous space hypersonic weapon. The United States, Russia, and China for the longest of time have been engaged in a high-tech rivalry that's pushing the boundaries of military technology. This space-based contest involves advanced satellites and incredibly fast missiles, with each country trying to gain an edge over the others. Every day, without most people knowing, Russia and China are testing America's defenses in space. They're not using traditional weapons, but rather sophisticated electronic systems that can interfere with satellites. These satellites are crucial for the U.S. military, helping with everything from communication to navigation. By disrupting these orbital devices, Russia and China hope to weaken America's ability to respond to threats quickly and effectively. Both Russia and China have also been working on a new type of weapon called hypersonic missiles. These missiles are incredibly fast, traveling at more than 5 times the speed of sound. To put that in perspective, they could cross the Atlantic Ocean in about 30 minutes. What makes them particularly dangerous is their ability to change direction mid-flight, making them very hard to track and intercept with current defense systems. Russia recently used one of these hypersonic weapons, called the Kinzhal, in Ukraine. This was the first time such a weapon has been used in actual combat. The Kinzhal, which means dagger in Russian, can be launched from an aircraft and is said to be virtually impossible to stop with current technology. Its use in Ukraine showed that Russia is willing to deploy these advanced weapons, raising concerns about future conflicts. As tensions rise, the United States is not sitting idle. The country is developing its own hypersonic weapons and working on new ways to detect and intercept those of other nations. This includes creating a network of satellites specifically designed to track hypersonic missiles. The race to dominate space and develop unstoppable weapons continues, with each country pushing the limits of technology in an effort to stay ahead. As this competition unfolds, it's clear that space will play an increasingly important role in national security for years to come. As tensions grow in space, countries are developing more advanced weapons to stay ahead. While Russia has already used its hypersonic missile in combat, China has been quietly working on an even more sophisticated weapon. This new development has caught the attention of military experts worldwide and raised concerns about the future of global security. China's latest creation is called the Fractional Orbital Bombardment System, or FOBs for short. This weapon is a significant step beyond typical hypersonic missiles. The FOBs is a nuclear-capable missile that can travel into low Earth orbit, circle the planet, and then dive down to hit its target anywhere on Earth. What makes it special is its combination of long range, incredible speed, and the ability to approach from unexpected directions. To understand how the FOBs works, imagine a space shuttle carrying a powerful weapon instead of astronauts. Once launched, it can orbit Earth like a satellite, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When it's ready, the FOBs can leave orbit and plummet towards its target at an astonishing speed of Mach 27. That's 27 times the speed of sound. This is about 5 times faster than other hypersonic weapons. making it extremely difficult to detect and intercept. The FOBS has several advantages over traditional intercontinental ballistic missiles. First, it can reach any point on Earth, giving it a truly global range. Second, it can approach from any direction, not just the expected flight paths of normal missiles. This unpredictability makes it much harder for countries to defend against. Finally, because of its speed and ability to maneuver, the FOBS can potentially hit its target at least 10 minutes faster than an ICBM. What worries defense experts most is the FOB's ability to outsmart current missile defense systems. Its high speed, agility, and intelligence allow it to dodge attempts to shoot it down. This means that countries might only have a few minutes to react if they detect a FOBS heading their way. The weapon's development has sparked a new urgency in updating global defense strategies, especially in the United States. As countries race to create both better weapons and better defenses, the balance of power in space continues to shift, making the need for international cooperation and dialogue more important than ever. As China and Russia push forward with advanced weapons like the FOBS, the United States isn't standing still. Recognizing the growing threats in space, America has been working on its own high-tech solution. Instead of developing a single superweapon, the U.S. is taking a different approach, one that involves hundreds of eyes watching from above. The U.S. Space Development Agency is leading an ambitious project to create a network of satellites that can track hypersonic weapons and other threats from space. This project, part of the National Defense Space Architecture, is like building a protective shield around Earth. In 2022, the SDA took a big step forward by awarding $1.3 billion in contracts to two companies, L3 Harris Technologies and Northrop Grumman, to build 28 special satellites. These satellites, scheduled for launch in 2025, are just the beginning of a much larger plan. The National Defense Space Architecture has two main parts: the transport layer and the tracking layer. The transport layer is like a cosmic internet, connecting military units all over the world. When it's finished, it will have between 300 and 500 satellites orbiting Earth. These satellites will work together to make sure that 95% of the planet always has at least two satellites in view, with 99% having at least one. This means that no matter where U.S. forces are, they'll always have a reliable way to communicate and share information. The tracking layer is where the real magic happens. These satellites are designed to spot and follow advanced missiles, including the tricky hypersonic ones that worry defense experts so much. They use special sensors and smart computer programs to detect threats quickly and accurately. The 28 satellites being built now are part of this tracking layer. They'll be launched in groups of 7, each placed in a different orbit around Earth's poles. This arrangement lets them see the whole planet, constantly watching for any signs of danger. What makes this new system special is its approach to defense. Instead of relying on a few big, expensive satellites, the U.S. is creating a network of many smaller ones. This strategy has several advantages. First, it's harder for enemies to knock out the entire system. Even if they destroy a few satellites, many others remain to keep watch. Second, the network can be updated more easily, with new satellites added as technology improves. Lastly, by spreading out the job among many satellites, each one can be simpler and cheaper to build and launch. This project represents a big change in how the U.S. thinks about space defense. Just a few years ago, military leaders were calling for updates to the old satellite systems. Now, with support from Congress and all branches of the military, the country is racing to build this new space-based defense network. The goal is to have a system that can spot threats quickly, share information instantly, and help defend against even the fastest and most advanced weapons. As impressive as this project sounds, it's important to remember that it's still a work in progress. The first batch of satellites won't launch until 2025, and it will take years to get the full network up and running. Meanwhile, other countries are continuing to develop their own space technologies. The race to control and defend space is far from over, and new challenges are sure to arise. Despite these challenges, the U.S. space defense project shows how technology is changing the way countries think about security. In the past, defense meant building walls or training soldiers. Now, it involves complex networks of satellites, advanced sensors, and lightning-fast communication systems. As we move further into the 21st century, the ability to use and protect space assets may become just as important as traditional military strength. For everyday people, this space race might seem far removed from daily life, but the technologies being developed have the potential to affect us all. The same satellite networks that watch for missiles could also help improve weather forecasting, internet access, and navigation systems. As countries invest more in space technology, we may see benefits in areas far beyond defense. In the end, the U.S. response to space-based threats highlights an important truth. In today's world, security isn't just about having the biggest weapons. It's about being smart, adaptable, and able to see what's coming before it arrives. By creating a network of watchful satellites, the United States is aiming to do just that, keeping an eye on the whole world to help keep it safe. As the United States works on its space-based defense network, other countries are developing ways to disrupt or destroy satellites. These anti-satellite technologies are becoming a major concern in the ongoing space competition. Let's take a look at what Russia and China are doing in this area. Russia has been working on a project called Kalina at its Kronos space facility. This project involves building a powerful laser system designed to interfere with enemy satellites. Unlike some weapons that physically destroy targets, Kalina aims to blind satellites by damaging their optical sensors. It's like shining a super bright flashlight into someone's eyes, but on a much larger scale. The laser is so powerful that it can permanently damage the delicate cameras and sensors that satellites use to observe Earth. What makes Kalina special is its precision. The system uses advanced tracking technology and something called adaptive optics to aim the laser accurately, even through Earth's atmosphere. It can measure how much laser light bounces back from its target, helping it pinpoint the most vulnerable parts of a satellite. This level of accuracy makes Kalina a serious threat to space-based systems that many countries rely on for communication, navigation, and reconnaissance. While Russia focuses on lasers, China is exploring a different approach to dealing with satellites. Chinese researchers have been studying ways to disable or destroy entire satellite networks, with a particular interest in SpaceX's Starlink system. Starlink is a large group of small satellites that provide internet access around the world. The Chinese military sees Starlink as a potential threat because it could be used to support U.S. military operations. China's strategy involves both soft kill and hard kill methods. Soft kill techniques might include jamming satellite signals or using cyber attacks to take control of satellites. Hard kill methods are more direct and could involve physical destruction of satellites using missiles or other weapons. By targeting satellite networks like Starlink, China hopes to disrupt the communication and data sharing capabilities of potential adversaries. These developments in anti-satellite technologies highlight the growing importance of space in national security. As countries become more reliant on satellites for various purposes, the ability to protect these assets or threaten those of rivals becomes crucial. This has led to increased investment in both defensive systems, like the U.S. satellite network, and offensive capabilities, like Russia's Kalina laser. The challenge for the international community is to find ways to use space peacefully and prevent conflicts from extending beyond Earth's atmosphere. As countries develop new ways to attack and defend satellites, it's clear that space is becoming a critical area for national security. This shift is ushering in a new era of space-based warfare, where the battles of the future may be fought far above Earth's surface. The idea of war in space might sound like science fiction, but it's becoming more real every day. Countries are now treating space as a domain for military activities, just like land, sea, and air. This means they're developing strategies and technologies specifically for operating in space. The US, Russia, and China are leading this charge, but other countries are also getting involved. One of the biggest changes in this new era is the focus on protecting space assets. Satellites have become crucial for everything from communication and navigation to weather forecasting and spying. Losing these satellites could seriously hurt a country's ability to function, both in peacetime and during conflicts. That's why we're seeing a race to develop better ways to defend satellites and create backup systems in case some are destroyed. At the same time, countries are working on weapons that can disable or destroy enemy satellites. These range from cyber attacks that can take control of satellites to physical weapons like lasers and missiles. Some countries are even exploring ways to use satellites themselves as weapons, potentially able to attack targets on Earth or other satellites in space. This new focus on space warfare is changing how militaries operate. Countries are creating special space forces and updating their training to include space-based scenarios. They're also investing in new technologies like artificial intelligence and quantum computing to gain an edge in space. As this trend continues, we may see more countries joining the space race, leading to new alliances and rivalries based on space capabilities. The rise of space-based warfare raises important questions for the future. How can countries protect their space assets without starting an arms race in space? Is it possible to create international rules for military activities in space? What are the risks of space debris from destroyed satellites? As we move forward, finding answers to these questions will be crucial for maintaining peace and security, both on Earth and in the vastness of space above us. As we enter this new era of space-based warfare, it's important to understand that the situation is more complex than just countries developing new weapons. Many factors at play affect how space is used and protected. Let's explore some of these important issues that shape the future of space activities. One of the biggest challenges in space is balancing military and civilian uses. Back in 1967, countries around the world signed the Outer Space Treaty. This agreement says that space should be used peacefully and that no one can put weapons of mass destruction in orbit. However, many technologies used in space can serve both peaceful and military purposes. For example, the same satellites that help farmers predict weather can also be used by militaries to plan operations. This makes it tricky to decide what should be allowed in space. Another major concern is space junk, also known as space debris. Every time a country tests an anti-satellite weapon, or even when satellites accidentally collide with each other, thousands of fragments are left floating in Earth's orbit. These pieces of debris vary in size, from tiny paint chips to entire chunks of defunct satellites, but all of them pose a serious threat. Even the smallest fragments, traveling at high speeds, can puncture spacecraft, damage satellites, or endanger astronauts aboard missions. This space trash accumulates over time, increasing the likelihood of future collisions in what's known as the Kessler syndrome, a scenario where the density of debris becomes so great that it triggers a cascade of collisions, creating even more debris. If we don't manage this growing problem, launching new satellites or spacecraft could become too dangerous. The space environment we depend on for exploration and technology could turn into a minefield. This isn't just a concern for space agencies or military powers. It's a global issue. Satellites are essential to everyday life, powering our GPS systems, providing accurate weather forecasts, and keeping us connected through the internet. Space debris could cripple these services, affecting everything from global communications to air travel safety and even disaster management efforts. It's not just the big players like the US, Russia, and China involved in space anymore. Countries like India, Japan, and Israel are developing their own space programs. Private companies are also getting into the game, launching satellites and even planning space tourism. This means there are more voices and interests to consider when it comes to using space. It also raises questions about who is responsible for protecting space assets and cleaning up space junk. As space becomes increasingly critical for both military and civilian purposes, countries are grappling with a range of new challenges. One of the primary concerns is the protection of satellites, which are vital for national security, communication, and navigation. These satellites are vulnerable not only to physical threats like anti-satellite missiles, but also to cyber attacks. Hackers could potentially target satellite systems, disrupting essential services such as GPS, internet connectivity, and even military communications. As nations rely more heavily on space-based technology, safeguarding these assets from cyber threats has become a top priority. In addition to security concerns, there is growing awareness about the environmental impact of space activities. Each rocket launch leaves a footprint, not only in orbit but also in Earth's atmosphere. Scientists are raising alarms about the long-term effects of frequent launches, suggesting that the chemicals released during liftoffs could harm the ozone layer and contribute to air pollution. The emissions from rocket engines, particularly those using solid fuels, can release harmful substances like chlorine and soot, which may degrade the atmosphere over time. Furthermore, countries must also consider the implications of their actions in space on the environment beyond our planet. Satellites, once obsolete, contribute to the growing issue of space debris, and the remnants of past missions remain a potential hazard for future space exploration. As the number of spacefaring nations and private companies launching satellites increases, the need for responsible, sustainable practices in space becomes even more pressing. Without careful management, the very environment we depend on for exploration and technological advancement could be at risk. Despite these challenges, there are still examples of countries working together in space. The International Space Station is a great example, with astronauts from different countries living and working together. As we move forward, finding ways to cooperate in space might be just as important as developing new technologies. By working together, countries might be able to solve problems like space junk and create rules that keep space safe for everyone to use. After several years of dominating the skies, the United States Air Force has, once again, shocked the world. Despite the underlying technological battle going on between world powers and the subtle threats of war, this country has focused on bolstering their military sector, and now the U.S. Air Force, with its fleet of advanced aircraft, just might be the most powerful in the world. What are the capabilities of this particular air fighter that has transformed this U.S. military? Is the USAF really the most advanced in the world? Join us as we explore the unique features of the U.S.'s ultra-modern aircraft that almost break the speed of light. This is not a story of the legendary F-22 Raptor or even the NGAD currently being developed. It's an aircraft with capabilities that has taken everyone by surprise. The journey began in the 1980s when the Pentagon started planning to upgrade its older fighter jets with new stealth planes. The Air Force's competition led to the F-22 Raptor, a powerful stealth fighter. However, the Navy and Marines needed their own stealth jets, and the Raptor was too expensive and specialized to replace the Air Force's many F-16s. In 1992, the Navy and Air Force merged their CAF and JAS programs to create the Joint Strike Fighter program. The aim was to develop a cheaper, single-engine stealth fighter that all three services could use to cut costs and that could also be sold to U.S. allies, unlike the F-22. The JSF would use the latest digital and material technologies for better performance. However, the need to design a single aircraft for all three services created problems. For instance, the Navy's version needed bigger wings and tougher landing gear for carrier use. The Marine Corps also required a jump jet that could take off and land vertically to replace its Harriers. However, VTOL capability makes a fighter bulkier, and jump jets like the Harrier and Yak-38 were much slower, carried less, and had shorter ranges compared to conventional fighters. The need for a single design for the JSF meant that even the non-VTOL versions would have a bulky fuselage that increased drag. The story of the mystery aircraft takes an unusual turn to Russia during the Yeltsin era. As the Soviet Union collapsed, the cash-strapped Yakovlev company looked for a partner to help develop its Yak-141 jump jet, which had a separate lift fan and could fly faster than the speed of sound. In 1991, Lockheed bought 3 Yak-141 jets and important test data from the Russian company for about $400 million. In 1996, the Pentagon gave Boeing and Lockheed $750 million each to build 2 prototypes, which were tested 5 years later. To summarize the result, Boeing's X-35 had an awkward, bulky delta wing design and used tilted exhaust nozzles for vertical lift. On the other hand, the X-35 used lift fans similar to the Yak-141, but with a separate shaft, making it a more complex and advanced system. 5 years later, the Air Force chose the X-35, which led to the F-35 as the winner of the JSF competition. The Defense Department secured funding from countries like Australia, Canada, Israel, and others. These partners got their share of manufacturing and maintenance work, along with the chance to integrate their own missiles and other benefits. Designing the basic airframe was the easy part. The Pentagon planned to equip the F-35 with advanced technologies still in development. One innovation was using modular panels with built-in radar-absorbing material instead of applying it before each flight. Other new technology included a helmet display system for pilots to see through the plane, upgradable mission computers, advanced defensive systems linked to a multi-sensor system, stealthy data links for sharing data with friendly forces, and a radar with low detectability. The F-35 would also come with flight simulators instead of 2-seat trainers, and a logistics system for maintenance and spare parts. Usually it's smart to add new technologies to tested systems, but the Pentagon decided to develop the F-35 avionics, software, and airframe all at once, causing the basic F-35 design to keep changing. This led to delays and cost overruns as the new technologies didn't work together as smoothly as hoped. The F-35 ended up being 2,000 pounds overweight, which reduced its range, especially for the F-35B jump jet version. This led to a redesign that might have caused some structural issues in the early F-35B models. The Government Accountability Office raised concerns in 2006, and by 2009, the high cost drew attention from Defense Secretary Robert Gates, who considered canceling the program, but found it too entrenched, having consumed too much money and effort. Gates even cut the planned production of the more advanced Fatu-22 to just 180 aircraft instead of the 500, which was originally planned. As the F-35 fell behind schedule by about 5 years, the Pentagon had to spend extra money to extend the life of older jets. The testing department kept finding many problems, from faulty oxygen systems and misaligned cannons to unexpected computer shutdowns. Unfortunately, Canada also canceled its F-35 order due to these issues. The F-35 was only deemed initially operational for the Marine Corps in 2015 and for the Air Force in 2016, but with relaxed requirements. The Navy's F-35Cs were expected to achieve this status in 2019. The early production models of the F-35, which were supposed to be affordable, ended up being quite expensive, costing over $200 million each. These planes were missing key features and served mainly as test models to refine systems that would take many more years to complete. They will need costly upgrades before they can be fully operational. The expected cost savings from having 3 versions of the same plane didn't materialize as hoped, since only 20% of the parts are the same across all 3 variants. In 2013, the F-35 faced criticism for having limited range and being slower, less maneuverable, and carrying fewer weapons compared to earlier models. Supporters argue that these drawbacks are outweighed by the F-35's stealth capabilities and advanced sensors and missiles, which help pilots avoid close-range battles. The development and purchase of about 2,400 F-35s through 2037 are now expected to cost over $400 billion, which is about 8 times Russia's annual defense budget. Operating costs until 2070 are projected to add another $1.1 trillion. Despite ongoing issues with defects, delays, and low readiness rates, the F-35 program showed significant improvement in 2018. The price for each F-35A was reduced to $89 million, and Israeli and Marine F-35s saw their first combat. The F-35s performed well in air combat exercises. Belgium and Singapore recently chose to buy F-35s, and Greece, India, Poland, Romania, and Spain are also considering them. The F-35B jump jets will be used on Italian and British carriers and have even encouraged Japan to revive its carrier aviation program. What makes this aircraft special? Let's check out the specifics. The F-35 is designed to be stealthy, meaning it's hard for radars to detect. This is achieved by shaping the aircraft carefully and using materials that absorb radar signals. The airframe is designed with features like aligned edges, serrated skin panels, and engine masking to minimize its visibility on radar. The F-35 inlet design, called the diverterless supersonic inlet, further reduces radar visibility by eliminating certain features in traditional designs. The aircraft's radar cross-section, which measures its visibility to radar, is exceptionally low, even compared to a small metal golf ball in certain conditions. Lessons learned from previous stealth aircraft like the F-22 were applied to make the F-35 stealth design more durable and easier to maintain. The F-35 also minimizes its infrared and visual signatures and controls radio frequency emissions to avoid detection. The stealth design primarily targets high-frequency radar wavelengths, making it challenging for radars to spot the aircraft. The F-35 can use special Lundberg lens reflectors to reduce visibility further. There were concerns about the noise produced by the F-35, especially in areas near potential bases. Studies were conducted to assess the environmental impact of the noise. While the F-35 noise levels in decibels were similar to previous fighters like the F-16, its sound power, especially at lower frequencies, was stronger. Subsequent surveys indicated that, for most people, the noise from the F-35 was not noticeably different from other fighters like the F-16 and F/A-18EAF. The F-35 cockpit, called the glass cockpit, is designed to give pilots a clear view of their surroundings. It features a large touchscreen display for flight instruments, weapons management, communication, navigation, and alerts, which pilots can customize. Below this, there is a smaller standby display, and the cockpit also includes a speech recognition system from Adesil. Instead of a traditional head-up display, this advanced aircraft uses a helmet-mounted display system that shows flight and combat information on the pilot's helmet visor. The cockpit has a single-piece canopy that opens at the front, and the ejection seat uses a twin catapult system to help the pilot escape in emergencies. It also uses a hands-on throttle and stick system with a control stick on the right side and a throttle for aircraft control. It has an onboard oxygen generation system powered by the integrated power package, along with an auxiliary oxygen bottle and backup system for emergencies. The helmet-mounted display system, or HMDS, is key for pilot interaction. It replaces the traditional head-up display and projects crucial information directly onto the helmet visor, allowing pilots to see important details from any angle. The HMDS can also show infrared and night vision images, letting pilots see through the aircraft. Although there are concerns about its weight and safety during ejection, it provides a comprehensive view for the pilot. Speaking of defense, the F-35 can carry weapons on 6 external stations when stealth is not a priority. The wingtip pylons can hold AIM-9X or AIM-132 ASRA-AM missiles, and larger weapons like the AGM-158 JAS-SM can be mounted on inboard and middle wing stations. The F-35A has a 25mm GAU-22/A cannon with 182 rounds, while the F-35B and F-35C use a multi-mission pod for the GAU-22/A and 220 rounds. Lockheed Martin is working on a sidekick weapon rack to increase the internal air-to-air weapon capacity. Block 4 upgrades will allow the F-35B to carry 4 SDBs in the internal outboard stations and integrate the MBDA Meteor missile. For the F-35A, future upgrades may include close air support weapons like guided and fragmentation rockets, and possibly hypersonic missiles and directed energy weapons like lasers. Lockheed Martin is also exploring the use of fiber lasers for future enhancements. The F-35 mission systems act like its brains, helping the pilot understand and control the aircraft. These systems use advanced technology to work together, making the F-35 very effective in modern, network-based combat. Key systems include the Northrop Grumman AN/APG-81 radar, BAE systems and ASQ-239 Barracuda electronic warfare system, Northrop Grumman's Raytheon AN/AAQ-37 electro-optical distributed aperture system, Lockheed Martin AN/AAQ-40 electro-optical targeting system, and Northrop Grumman AN/ASQ-242 communications, navigation, and identification suite. This 50th-generation aircraft was designed with future upgrades in mind. Plans include new radar and better sensors for future models. Lockheed Martin is also developing an advanced EOTS for improved performance. The F-35 is more than just an aircraft. It's a high-tech system that continues to evolve to stay ahead. To preserve its stealthy design, the F-35 has 2 hidden compartments inside, each with 2 slots for weapons. The outer slots can hold up to 2,500 pounds of weapons, or 1,500 pounds for the F-35B version. The inner slots are for air-to-air missiles. The outer compartments can carry various bombs and missiles for attacking ground targets, including smaller ones. The inner compartments are used for air-to-air combat missiles. When stealth isn't a concern, the F-35 can carry weapons on the outside. There are spots on the wing tips and in the middle of the wings for additional weapons, including air-to-air missiles or larger ground attack missiles. The F-35A has an internal gun, but the F-35B and F-35C versions don't have an internal gun. Instead, they use an external pod for the gun. Future upgrades include adding more small bombs to the hidden compartments and integrating new missiles like the MBDA Meteor. The F-35 might also be equipped with hypersonic missiles and directed energy weapons like lasers. The U.S. Air Force plans to use the F-35A for close air support missions to help ground troops in challenging situations. But being advanced and sophisticated are not the only features that make this aircraft very special. F-35A, for instance, can also be used as a tactical nuclear bomber. A few years ago, the Pentagon planned to upgrade the F-35A so it could carry nuclear bombs. This move was key for strengthening the Pentagon's deterrence strategy and giving commanders more tactical options. Recently, the Air Force showed that the F-35A can deliver a nuclear weapon into enemy territory, proving its effectiveness in this role. This successful test means the F-35A is now capable of handling tactical nuclear missions, enhancing its role in strategic defense. Its ability to handle both conventional and nuclear missions enhances the country's capacity to tackle various security threats. This makes the F-35A a crucial tool in modern military operations. While some other fighter jets can also carry nuclear bombs, this aircraft also stands out for its speed and accuracy. Unlike the stealthy B-2 Spirit and B-21 Raider bombers, which can carry bombs internally but fly slower, the F-35A can quickly deliver powerful bombs like the B-6112. The B-6112 is an upgraded version of older gravity bombs, with options ranging from 3 to 50 kilotons, which is more than double the size of the Fat Man bomb used in World War II. In 2021, 2 F-35As conducted a key test where they dropped B-6112 test bombs from 2,500 feet. These test bombs were designed to simulate real bombs without actual nuclear material. The test bombs hit their targets on the ground in about 42 seconds. This test, conducted at the Tonopah Test Range in Nevada, was a practice run for potential real-life scenarios. The purpose of this test was to check if the F-35A planes could carry and accurately drop a bomb similar to a nuclear one. By performing this test, they could see how well the aircraft would work in a real situation involving a nuclear bomb. This kind of testing is important to ensure the planes can perform as needed and keep the country and its allies safe. The U.S. plans to produce about 486 B-6112 bombs from fiscal year 2022 to 2025, while phasing out older, more powerful bombs. Experts estimate the U.S. currently has around 681 B-61 bombs, including 230 for non-strategic uses. That aside, the F-35 can carry a wide range of bombs, such as the Joint Direct Attack Munition, laser-guided bombs like the Paveway series, AGM-154 JSL, GBU-39 small diameter bomb, GBU-53/B Stormbreaker, and even nuclear bombs. This variety of weapons showcases the F-35 capability to perform many roles in combat. For attacking ground targets, the F-35 carries powerful weapons such as the AGM-88G Advanced Anti-Radiation Guided Missile to hit enemy radar systems, and the AGM-158 JSSM for attacking ships. This wide range of weapons shows that the F-35 is a highly adaptable and advanced fighter, capable of handling various combat roles, from dogfights to strategic strikes. At the Airspace and Cyber 2024 conference, U.S. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall suggested that the next-generation air dominance or NGAD fighter might be redesigned to reduce its cost below that of the F-35. Originally, the NGAD was expected to cost hundreds of millions per aircraft, with plans to buy only 200 units. Kendall's comments follow his earlier statements in July 2024 about reevaluating the Air Force's approach to air superiority and potentially pausing the NGAD program. He also mentioned that decisions on NGAD need to be made soon for the fiscal 2026 budget. He emphasized that the Air Force is committed to maintaining air superiority and linked NGAD with the Next Generation Air Refueling System, or NGAS. Lowering NGAD's cost might involve reducing its range and payload, which would increase the need for tankers capable of operating in contested areas. Regarding the price, Kendall noted that no specific cost has been set, but mentioned that the F-35 price represents the upper limit they aim for. But that's not all. How would acquiring this fifth-generation fighter impact the Czech Air Force? While the F-35 meets all the requirements, there are some downsides to acquiring it. When choosing a new supersonic aircraft, several factors should be considered, including advancement and maintenance. One major advantage is that the F-35 is superior to other options. As a fifth-generation aircraft, it features advanced weapons and sensors for network warfare. This would bolster the Czech Air Force to the top tier of European NATO forces and improve cooperation with the U.S., NATO's leading member. Another benefit is the stronger alliance with the U.S. Acquiring the F-35 would deepen the partnership between the Czech Republic and the U.S. It would also boost the V4 group's capabilities, with Poland buying 32 F-35s and Slovakia 14 F-16Vs. If the Czech Republic acquires around 20 F-35, it would significantly enhance air power in the region. If the Czech Republic chooses the F-35, the aircraft will come with the latest upgrades known as Block 4. This will include new weapon systems and improved software. Besides adding U.S. weapons, it will also integrate European missiles like the Norwegian Joint Strike Missile, MBDA Meteor, ASRAAM, and Spear missiles. With more European weapons available, the F-35 arsenal will expand, making it comparable to the JAS-39 Gripen in terms of weapon variety. As mentioned earlier, the biggest downside is the cost. The aircraft itself is expensive, but the operating costs are even higher, which raises concerns about whether the Czech military can afford it, given its other expenses. For 50 years, America's enemies have consistently feared the might of its F-15 Eagle, which has dominated the skies without challenge. Now, a new predator surfaces from its legendary lineage, the F-15EX Eagle II. This cutting-edge war machine breaks the boundaries of physics, leaving Russia and China stunned by its incredible speed, devastating firepower, and futuristic technology. Will this new bird of prey secure America's dominance for decades to come? And how will adversaries respond to a fighter that seems to defy the laws of nature? Join us as we dive into the U.S.'s new F-15X Eagle and its physics-defying capabilities. In the late 1960s, the Cold War was in full swing, and the United States was constantly on alert for new threats from the Soviet Union. In July 1967, the Soviets unveiled a new generation of combat aircraft at an air show near Moscow. Among these new planes, one stood out as particularly impressive: the MiG-25 Foxbat. The MiG-25 was a sight to behold. It had two powerful engines, twin vertical stabilizers, and could fly faster than Mach 2. That's twice the speed of sound. This new Soviet fighter alarmed U.S. Air Force planners. They realized they needed a new aircraft that could match or beat the MiG-25 in air combat. The U.S. Air Force hadn't developed a dedicated air superiority fighter since the F-86 Sabre in the late 1940s. To address this gap, they launched a program called Fighter Experimental in December 1967. The goal was to create a fighter that could outperform any current or future Soviet aircraft in air-to-air combat. Two major aerospace companies, General Dynamics and McDonnell Douglas, were chosen to explore initial concepts for the FX program. After a year of work, the Air Force refined its requirements and asked for preliminary designs of what would become the F-15. Three companies, Fairchild Republic, McDonnell Douglas, and North American Rockwell, were awarded contracts to develop these designs in December 1968. In a move to save time and money, the Air Force made an unusual decision. Instead of having the companies build prototypes and compete in a fly-off, they awarded the final F-15 contract to McDonnell Douglas on December 23, 1969. This decision was controversial at the time, with critics arguing it might lead to delays and cost overruns. With the F-15 contract awarded to McDonnell Douglas, the development of this new fighter moved into high gear. Engineers and test pilots worked tirelessly to bring the F-15 from concept to reality, eager to see how it would perform against the Soviet threat. The F-15 Eagle took to the skies for its first flight in 1972, marking a major milestone in American aviation history. By 1976, just 4 years later, it had become a key part of the U.S. military's air arsenal. The Eagle quickly proved its worth, showing exceptional durability and versatility in various combat roles. Originally, the F-15 was designed to fly at incredibly high speeds, up to Mach 3 or 3 times the speed of sound. However, to keep production costs under control, this requirement was adjusted to Mach 2.5. Even with this change, the F-15 was still one of the fastest fighter jets in the world, capable of outrunning most threats it might face in the sky. As time went on, the Air Force recognized the need for a fighter that could not only dominate air-to-air combat, but also strike ground targets effectively. This led to the development of the F-15E Strike Eagle, which was introduced in 1988. The Strike Eagle kept the air superiority capabilities of the original F-15, but added advanced systems for ground attack, close air support, and electronic warfare. Over the years, several variants of the F-15 have been produced. The main versions include the F-15A with single-seat and F-15B with two-seat fighters, followed by the improved F-15C and F-15D models. By the early 2020s, more than 1,198 of these variants had been built. Additionally, over 525 F-15E Strike Eagles were in service, with more expected to join the fleet. The F-15's success wasn't limited to the United States. Other countries like South Korea also ordered their own versions of the Eagle, showing its popularity and effectiveness on the global stage. As the F-15 Eagle and its variants entered service, they quickly proved their worth beyond just impressive speed and adaptability. The true test of any fighter jet lies in its performance during real-world missions and combat situations. Let's explore how the F-15's capabilities translated into combat success. At the heart of the F-15's power are its engines. The first Eagles used two Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines, each producing 25,000 pounds of thrust. To put this in perspective, that's like having the power of 25 family cars in each engine. As technology improved, so did the F-15's engines. Modern F-15s are equipped with two General Electric F-110 GE-129 afterburning turbofans, each capable of generating over 29,000 pounds of thrust. This incredible power allows the F-15 to climb quickly, reach high altitudes, and maintain supersonic speeds for extended periods. The F-15's combat capabilities go far beyond its speed and power. It can carry an impressive 20,000 pounds of weapons. That's about the weight of a large school bus. But what set the F-15 apart was its advanced radar and missile systems. It was the first fighter that could detect and attack multiple enemy targets at the same time, from distances of up to 100 miles away. This meant F-15 pilots could often defeat enemy aircraft before the other pilots even knew they were in danger. These capabilities have led to an extraordinary combat record. In air-to-air combat, F-15s have achieved over 100 victories without a single loss. That's right, no F-15 has ever been shot down by an enemy aircraft in combat. This perfect record is better than any other modern fighter jet, including famous planes like the F-16 and F-14 Tomcat. The F-15's success in combat has made it a legend in the world of military aviation. Despite its incredible combat performance, the F-15 has proven to be a remarkably safe aircraft to fly. Over 5 decades of service, only about 125 US F-15s have been lost. Most of these losses were due to accidents during training or difficult flying conditions, not combat. This translates to a loss rate of less than 2 aircraft per 100,000 flight hours, an impressive safety record for a high-performance fighter jet. The F-15's combination of power, advanced technology, and proven combat success has made it a cornerstone of U.S. air power for decades. Its ability to control the skies and strike targets with precision has deterred potential enemies and played a crucial role in several conflicts. Even as newer, stealthier fighters like the F-22 and F-35 have entered service, the F-15 continues to be a vital part of the Air Force's fleet. While the F-15's combat record and capabilities have been impressive, even the best machines eventually need updates. As we move from discussing the Eagle's successes to its future, we'll explore how time and changing threats have led to the need for upgrades. The F-15's service record speaks volumes about its reliability and effectiveness. Over its long career, the jet has proven to be incredibly durable. Out of every 100,000 hours F-15s spend in the air, less than 2 aircraft are lost. This is a remarkable achievement for a high-performance fighter jet that often operates in demanding conditions. Most losses have been due to accidents during training or in challenging weather, not combat situations. This safety record has helped make the F-15 a trusted workhorse for the U.S. Air Force and other nations that fly it. Despite its success, the F-15 is facing a challenge it can't outmaneuver: age. Many F-15s in service today are several decades old. While they've been well maintained, these aircraft are reaching the end of their design service life. This aging process brings increased risks of structural problems and higher maintenance costs. Additionally, the basic design of the F-15, while still potent, is becoming outdated in some areas compared to the latest fighter jets from other countries. Another factor driving the need for upgrades is the rapid advancement of technology. Modern warfare increasingly relies on sophisticated electronics, sensors, and computer systems. While the F-15 has received some updates over the years, its core systems were designed in an era before smartphones and the internet. To remain effective on the modern battlefield, the F-15 needs significant upgrades to its radar, communications, and electronic warfare capabilities. Recognizing these challenges, the U.S. Air Force began seriously considering options for upgrading the F-15 fleet in 2018. They wanted a fighter that could carry more weapons, fly farther, and incorporate the latest technologies. However, developing an entirely new fighter jet from scratch would be extremely expensive and time-consuming. Instead, the Air Force decided to pursue an upgraded version of the F-15, which would become known as the F-15EX Eagle II. This approach allowed them to leverage the proven strengths of the F-15 design while incorporating modern technologies and capabilities. The decision to upgrade the F-15 rather than replace it entirely was influenced by several factors. The production of the advanced F-22 Raptor had ended earlier than planned, leaving a gap in the Air Force's fighter fleet. Meanwhile, the new F-35 Lightning II, while highly capable, was facing delays and couldn't be produced quickly enough to replace all the aging F-15s. By choosing to upgrade the F-15, the Air Force found a way to modernize a significant portion of its fighter force relatively quickly and cost-effectively. This strategy aims to keep the F-15 relevant and effective for decades to come. With the decision made to upgrade the F-15, the U.S. Air Force and Boeing, the company that now owns McDonnell Douglas, began the exciting process of designing the next generation of this legendary fighter. This new version, called the F-15X Eagle II, would combine the best features of the original F-15 with cutting-edge technology. Let's explore how this new Eagle came to be and what makes it special. The development of the F-15EX began in earnest in 2018, when the Air Force outlined what they wanted in this new fighter. They asked Boeing to come up with designs that could carry more weapons, fly farther, and incorporate the latest aviation technologies. Boeing responded with two options: a single-seat version called the F-15CX and a two-seat version called the F-15EX. After careful consideration, the Air Force chose the two-seat F-15EX. This design allows the jet to be flown by either one pilot or a team of two, with the second person managing weapons and complex systems. One of the most significant improvements in the F-15EX is its increased firepower. The new jet can carry up to 22 air-to-air missiles, which is more than any other fighter in the U.S. inventory. It can also launch large hypersonic weapons up to 22 feet long. To put this in perspective, that's about as long as a small boat. This massive increase in weapon capacity means the F-15EX can engage more targets and stay in the fight longer than its predecessors. The F-15EX isn't just about carrying more weapons. It's also packed with advanced technology. It features a new electronic warfare system called the Eagle Passive Active Warning Survivability System, which helps protect the jet from enemy radars and missiles. The cockpit has been completely redesigned with large touchscreen displays, similar to what you might see in a modern car, but much more advanced. The jet also has new fly-by-wire controls, which use computers to help the pilot fly more precisely and safely. Perhaps most impressive is the F-15EX's speed and range. Powered by two incredibly strong engines, each producing 29,500 pounds of thrust, the F-15EX can reach speeds of Mach 2.5, 2.5 times the speed of sound. This makes it one of the fastest fighter jets in the world. It can also fly farther than earlier F-15s, allowing it to protect larger areas or strike distant targets. Despite all these new features, the F-15EX is designed to be easier to maintain and less expensive to operate than many other modern fighters. The F-15EX represents a big leap forward in fighter technology while building on the proven design of the original F-15. By combining increased firepower, advanced electronics, and improved performance, the Eagle II aims to keep the F-15 at the forefront of air combat for decades to come. With the F-15EX Eagle II's design finalized, the next step was to bring this advanced fighter from the blueprint to reality. This process involves careful planning, precise manufacturing, and rigorous testing. Let's explore how the U.S. Air Force is acquiring these new jets and bringing them into service. The journey to acquire the F-15EX began in February 2019, when the Air Force officially launched the program. They plan to buy at least 144 of these new fighters to replace the aging F-15C/D fleet. The first order was for 8 aircraft, with plans to purchase at least 90 more in the coming years. This approach allows the Air Force to start using the new jets quickly while spreading the cost over several years. In July 2020, Boeing received a $1.2 billion contract to build the first batch of 8 F-15EX fighter jets. This was a significant milestone, marking the official start of production. The company wasted no time and quickly got to work. Just 7 months later, in February 2021, the first F-15EX took to the skies for its maiden flight. This quick turnaround from contract to first flight is impressive in the world of advanced fighter jets, where development can often take many years. The Air Force received its first F-15EX in March 2021, less than 2 years after the program began. This rapid delivery was possible because the F-15EX builds on the proven design of earlier F-15s, allowing Boeing to use existing production lines and processes. Since then, more F-15EXs have been delivered. As of mid-2023, 6 aircraft were at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida for testing and evaluation, while 2 operational jets were delivered to the Oregon Air National Guard. A major milestone was reached on July 2023 when the Air Force declared that the F-15EX had achieved initial operational capability. This means the new jet is now ready for combat operations if needed. While this achievement came about a year later than initially planned due to some production delays, it still represents a relatively quick deployment for a new fighter jet. Boeing is currently building about 3 F-15EXs every 2 months and plans to increase production to 2 per month by 2025. The F-15EX is already proving its worth in Air Force operations. General Kenneth Wilsbach, the head of Air Combat Command, praised the jet's capabilities, particularly its ability to carry large, powerful weapons over long distances. This makes the F-15EX a valuable asset for defending vast areas like the Pacific region. As more F-15EXs enter service, they will play a crucial role in the Air Force's strategy, working alongside stealth fighters like the F-22 and F-35 to maintain air superiority in potential future conflicts. As the F-15EX Eagle II proves its worth in the U.S. Air Force service, it's not just American pilots who are excited about this advanced fighter jet. The impressive capabilities of the F-15EX have caught the attention of air forces around the world. Let's explore how this American-made jet is generating international interest and what it means for global air power. The F-15 has a long history of international success. Over the years, countries like Japan, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and South Korea have flown various versions of the F-15. These nations have used the jet effectively in their air forces, often adapting it to meet their specific needs. Now, with the introduction of the F-15EX, many of these countries and others are showing keen interest in upgrading their fleets. Japan, a longtime F-15 operator, has been one of the first countries to express interest in the F-15EX. The Japanese Air Self-Defense Force has been using F-15J fighters, a version of the F-15 built under license in Japan, since the 1980s. Now they're looking at the F-15EX as a way to modernize their air defense capabilities. The advanced radar and increased weapon capacity of the F-15EX would be particularly useful for Japan, given its strategic location in East Asia. Israel, another experienced F-15 user, is also closely watching the F-15EX program. The Israeli Air Force has used F-15s extensively in combat operations and has even developed its specialized versions of the jet. The F-15X's advanced electronic warfare systems and ability to carry large weapons could be very appealing to Israel, which often needs to maintain air superiority in challenging environments. Other countries showing interest in the F-15EX include Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Singapore. These nations already operate earlier versions of the F-15 and see the EX model as a way to enhance their air power without the need for extensive retraining of pilots and maintenance crews. The F-15EX's combination of advanced technology and familiar design makes it an attractive option for air forces looking to modernize their fleets quickly and effectively. This international interest in the F-15EX is significant for several reasons. For the United States, selling the jet to allies helps strengthen military partnerships and can reduce the overall cost of the program through economies of scale. For the buying countries, the F-15X offers a way to acquire a top-tier fighter jet with proven capabilities. And for Boeing, international sales could mean extended production lines and increased revenue. As more countries evaluate and potentially purchase the F-15EX, this latest version of the Eagle may well continue the F-15's legacy as one of the most successful and widely used fighter jets in history. For decades, rumors of advanced alien technology have circulated in whispers and conspiracies. Unseen by the public eye, the U.S. has been hiding a technological marvel that defies our understanding of physics and space. Now, astonishing new evidence suggests that these secrets are about to be revealed. Could this be the breakthrough that transforms our understanding of alien life? Join us as we uncover the startling details about the alien aircraft that the U.S. has been hiding from the world. In a world where nations are pushing the boundaries of aviation technology, some of these innovations are cloaked in deep secrecy. One of the most intriguing and mysterious developments is the rumored Black Manta, said to be linked to hidden military operations. The Black Manta legend centers around a supposedly covert site in California's Antelope Valley, where secretive projects are rumored to take place. Nestled between Palmdale and Lancaster, this area is believed to house a 300-acre military installation hidden from public view. It's said to be a hub for some of the U.S. defense sector's most prominent players, like the U.S. Air Force's Plan 42, Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, and even NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center. While sightings of strange flying objects in the region have sparked much speculation, it's essential to tread carefully before jumping to conclusions about their origins. Among these advanced aircraft rumors is the TR-3 Black Manta. While officially unacknowledged, this hypersonic reconnaissance aircraft has captured the imagination of aviation enthusiasts and UFO believers alike. Allegedly developed by Northrop Grumman and the U.S. Air Force, the same team behind the B-2 stealth bomber, the TR-3 is rumored to feature capabilities beyond anything we've seen before. Some even claim it was spotted hovering over an underwater UFO base, which only adds to the aircraft's air of mystery. What sets the Black Manta apart in these stories is its supposed mastery of stealth. It's said to use cutting-edge radar-absorbing materials that make it nearly invisible to detection systems. This allows it to carry out missions under the radar, literally, making it one of the most elusive aircraft ever conceived. However, the real fascination with the TR-3 doesn't end there. According to speculation, the TR-3 Black Manta isn't just fast. It might also be powered by technology that surpasses current aviation standards. Some believe it uses hypersonic propulsion systems, while others claim it could even operate using anti-gravity technology. If either of these theories is true, it would make the aircraft capable of breaking the traditional limits of speed, altitude, and maneuverability. Further fueling the intrigue is the idea that this aircraft could operate at near-space altitudes, gliding through the upper reaches of the atmosphere with ease. Its long-range capabilities could allow it to cover vast distances without stopping, potentially making it the ultimate reconnaissance tool. Equipped with advanced sensors, such as infrared and electro-optical systems, it's thought to gather high-resolution intelligence far beyond what is possible with current technology. Rumors also suggest that the TR-3 Black Manta may be equipped with cutting-edge weapons and countermeasures. These could include directed energy weapons, which would allow it to engage enemy threats without being detected. Electronic warfare systems capable of disrupting enemy communications and disabling radar systems are also rumored to be part of its arsenal. If these systems exist, the Black Manta could dramatically change how future conflicts are fought. Despite the wild stories and the allure of its high-tech features, the TR-3 Black Manta remains a topic of speculation. The US government has neither confirmed nor denied its existence, leaving the world to wonder if this UFO-like aircraft is real or just another military myth. While the TR-3 remains shrouded in mystery, not all of the US military's advancements are so secretive. Earlier this year, the Pentagon publicly revealed its latest stealth bomber, the B-21 Raider. Developed in secrecy for several years, the B-21 is now the first new American bomber in more than 3 decades. With its design and capabilities largely classified, the Raider represents the future of American air dominance, capable of carrying out missions well into the next generation of warfare. The unveiling of the B-21, alongside iconic bombers like the B-52 Stratofortress, B-1 Lancer, and B-2 Spirit, signals a shift in the Pentagon's priorities. As attention moves away from counterterrorism efforts, the focus is turning toward global powers like China, whose military advancements pose new challenges. In this rapidly evolving landscape, secretive projects like the Black Manta and revealed technologies like the B-21 show just how far military aviation has come and how much further it might go. The B-21 Raider is a key piece in modernizing America's nuclear arsenal. And it's not just another aircraft. It stands as a symbol of the nation's unwavering resolve to defend itself against any possible threat. The U.S. nuclear defense strategy, known as the Nuclear Triad, includes silo-launched ballistic missiles and submarine-launched warheads, and is being updated to ensure a full range of options in response to emerging dangers. Although the B-21 may look similar to the B-2, its technology is light years ahead. Advances in computing power mean the B-21 software can handle tasks the B-2 couldn't dream of. Its stealth capabilities are so advanced that even the most cutting-edge air defense systems will struggle to detect it. Experts believe it can control electronic signals in new ways, tricking enemy radars into seeing something else. It's also likely to have new propulsion technology that makes it nearly impossible to spot. So quiet you might hear it, but you'll never see it, while the exact cost of each B-21 is unclear. Estimates put it at around $753 million. Compare that to its predecessor, the B-2, which was originally supposed to have a fleet of over 100 planes. But due to rising costs and changing global threats after the Cold War, only 21 were built. Even today, maintaining the aging B-2 fleet is a huge task, and only a few are flight-ready at any given time. The B-21 is named after the daring 1942 Doolittle raid on Tokyo. It's slightly smaller than the B-2, giving it a longer range, and the designers at Northrop Grumman have learned from the B-2's maintenance challenges. The B-2, with its enormous wingspan, could only land at a few special airstrips worldwide, and its cockpit electronics could overheat in hot climates, requiring air-conditioned hangars. The B-21 will come with better hangars and be able to operate far from home, reducing the need for logistical support while still keeping any target in range. When it came to their public unveilings, the B-2 and the B-21 couldn't have been more different. The B-2 was revealed with great fanfare in 1988, but the B-21's debut was far more subtle. Only part of the plane was shown, with the sensitive propulsion systems and sensors hidden from prying eyes, reflecting just how much technology and security has evolved since then. This secrecy reminds some of another high-tech U.S. aircraft, the RQ-170 Sentinel, which caused a stir when spotted near Area 51. At first, people thought it was a UFO, but it turned out to be a surveillance drone designed by Lockheed Martin for covert missions. The RQ-170 can fly at 50,000 feet for long stretches, providing real-time intelligence over a wide area. This drone and the B-21 are both proof of America's ongoing push for dominance in the skies, with cutting-edge, nearly invisible technology. The RQ-170 Sentinel is a cutting-edge drone designed to deliver real-time intelligence through wide-area surveillance and reconnaissance. Its role in modern military operations is invaluable, with one of its most notable moments being its use in the raid on Osama bin Laden's compound in Pakistan. During this mission, the drone fed live footage to President Obama, showcasing its vital role in high-stakes operations. This drone, often called the Beast of Kandahar, stands out for its stealth and advanced technology, which allow it to fly undetected even in hostile environments. Its real-time imagery capabilities make it an indispensable tool for the U.S. military, particularly during missions like Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. The data it collects is transmitted back to the Ground Control Station, GCS, allowing operators to analyze the battlefield and make crucial decisions in real time. The RQ-170's sleek design, with its bat-shaped wings and pointed nose, enables it to remain hidden from enemy radar. It is equipped with a high-tech electro-optic camera that captures detailed images and videos of the areas it surveys. A satellite communication system ensures that this data is transmitted back to the GCS smoothly, giving military personnel live access to the intelligence they need. Powered by a single General Electric TF-34 turbofan engine, the Sentinel is highly efficient, producing over 9,000 pounds of thrust. This engine, known for its fuel efficiency and reliability, enables the drone to complete its missions with precision while keeping operational costs low. What makes the RQ-170 unique is its ability to carry out missions that once required manned aircraft. By offering a stealthy, unmanned solution, the Sentinel has changed the way intelligence is gathered. Its role as a silent watcher has made it a key player in monitoring critical global threats, such as North Korea's nuclear program. Its secretive missions have even drawn the attention of UFO enthusiasts, adding an air of mystery to its already legendary status. Likewise, the Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk was a groundbreaking stealth fighter developed to meet the demand for aircraft that could operate undetected. Its radar-evading design gave it the edge in combat, reflecting enemy signals and avoiding detection. Developed in the 1970s, the F-117's technology revolutionized military aviation. Although its design was kept secret for years, the aircraft became publicly known in 1990, symbolizing a new era of stealth capabilities in American defense strategies. By this time, the aircraft had been in use for 7 years. The development of the F-117 was kept under the strictest secrecy, to the point that even top Pentagon officials were not informed about it. This secrecy led to the creation of the mythical F-19 stealth fighter, a non-existent fifth-generation aircraft that captured the imagination of many through toys, comic books, and video games. When the F-117 was finally revealed to the public at Nellis Air Force Base, people were excited to see more than just the blurry, low-quality images they had seen before. Officially unveiled in 1988, the F-117 dispelled the myths of the F-19 and confirmed its role as a revolutionary stealth aircraft crucial to Operation Desert Storm. During its first combat missions, the F-117 demonstrated its effectiveness, flying over 6,900 hours and destroying more than 1,600 targets. Although it was retired in 2008, the F-117 remains a captivating and mysterious aircraft, symbolizing cutting-edge technology and military innovation. Its puzzling design is still shrouded in secrecy, with only one aircraft lost over Serbia in 1999. Adding to the intrigue of stealth technology was the Bird of Prey, a joint project by McDonnell Douglas and Boeing in the 1990s. Its name, inspired by the Klingon spacecraft from Star Trek, perfectly suited its stealth capabilities. Developed at the famous Area 51, the Bird of Prey blended military innovation with the fantasy of spacefaring cultures. Alongside Lockheed's covert projects like the F-117 and the SC Shadow stealth ship, Vice President Alan Wheeman revealed these groundbreaking efforts. The Bird of Prey was designed primarily to achieve a low radar profile. The aircraft's hull was carefully streamlined, with gaps hidden by flexible casings. The cockpit canopy, landing gear, wings, and fuselage were all aligned to eliminate any protruding parts. Even the engine air intake was tucked deep inside the fuselage and camouflaged with a lantern and air intake duct. The team also worked on reducing the aircraft's noise signature by redesigning the engine exhaust, using advanced computer-based modeling and simulations. This innovative approach led to prototypes that closely resembled the final design, moving away from traditional methods of iterative prototyping. Despite doubts about the aircraft's ability to fly, Phantom Works chief pilot Rudy Haug proved the skeptics wrong by successfully launching the Bird of Prey in 1996 at speeds of 300 miles per hour and a height of 20,000 feet. The project's goal wasn't just to outperform existing fighters, but to show that an affordable stealth aircraft that could be built on a budget of about $67 million, far less than the cost of the F-35 Lightning II. The bird of prey thus reshaped aircraft design and construction, bridging the gap between science fiction and reality. The declassification of the bird of prey project in 2002 left a lasting impact on the aviation industry. This revelation influenced the design of future aircraft, such as the Boeing X-45A, which debuted in 2000. Today, the legacy of the bird of prey, as this project was known, is not hidden away in the secretive corners of Area 51, but is proudly displayed at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force in Wright-Patterson, Ohio. Aircraft and drones have fascinated people for a long time, often sparking curiosity and speculation. Although some details about these machines have been declassified, many aspects remain shrouded in secrecy, leading to a swirl of conspiracy theories. While some retired aircraft have quietly faded from the spotlight, they remain significant in aviation history for their technological advancements. Modern aircraft, though advanced, do not resemble UFOs, which sometimes fuels wild theories about their origins and capabilities. The reality is that while these new fighter jets might match some descriptions of UFO sightings, their true nature is less mysterious than some might think. The secrecy surrounding them only adds to their allure. From the early days of flight to today's supersonic jets that can reach speeds over 1,500 miles per hour and cover vast distances in minutes, aviation has continually pushed the boundaries of what's possible. These cutting-edge machines not only excel in speed and altitude, but also in their sophisticated onboard technology. As we delve into the wonders of these supersonic aircraft and compare their capabilities, we embark on an exciting journey to discover which one stands out as the most formidable. When examining the most successful fighter aircraft in the world, several remarkable models stand out for their exceptional performance and advanced technology. Among these, the Boeing F/A-18E F Super Hornet, F-16 Fighting Falcon, Su-30, Saab JAS-39, Gripen, F-22 Raptor, and Su-57 each bring their unique strengths to the battlefield. The Boeing F/A-18E F Super Hornet, an American carrier-based fighter bomber, represents a major upgrade from the earlier F/A-18 Hornet. This aircraft reaches speeds of up to 1,189 miles per hour and features a wingspan 20% greater than its predecessor. It weighs 7,054 pounds empty and can take off with a maximum weight of 14,999 pounds, surpassing the original model. The Super Hornet's fuel capacity is 33% higher than that of the Hornet, extending its combat radius by 41% and increasing its flight duration by 50%. Though about 5 tons lighter than the F-14 Tomcat, it closely matches the Tomcat's payload and range, making it a versatile and formidable fighter. The F-16 Fighting Falcon, a fourth-generation American multi-role fighter, is renowned for its speed and agility. It can reach a top speed of 1,317 miles per hour at an altitude of 4,026 feet. Its design includes a monoplane structure with a single engine in the aft fuselage. The F-16 is constructed from 78.3% aluminum alloys, 4.2% titanium alloys, 4.2% carbon fiber, and 3.7% steel, and it features 228 hatches and removable panels for ease of maintenance. The aircraft's ventral air intake and regenerative air conditioning system contribute to its operational efficiency. Safety is enhanced by the McDonnell Douglas ASU-2 ejection seat, and the control system is electrically operated with 4-fold redundancy, ensuring reliability. The Su-30, a Russian fourth-generation multi-role fighter, is designed for air superiority and can match the F-16's top speed of 1,217. The Su-30 excels in various combat roles, including air-to-air, air-to-ground, and air-to-sea operations. It employs active and passive jamming for electronic warfare and can disrupt enemy operations while controlling airspace. The aircraft is armed with a 30 automatic cannon and can carry up to 6 medium-range air-to-air missiles, with a total combat load of 8,818 pounds. Its versatility and advanced electronic warfare capabilities make it a key asset in the Russian Air Force. The Saab JAS-39 Gripen, a Swedish fourth-generation multi-role fighter, can achieve speeds of up to 1,367 miles per hour at high altitudes. Initially limited in its weaponry, the Gripen was upgraded in 1999 to include the AIM-120 medium-range missile, enhancing its air-to-air combat capabilities. The Gripen's versatility extends to ground and surface targets, with precision weapons like the AGM-65 Maverick missile used for tactical strikes. This multi-role capability, combined with its high speed and agility, makes the Gripen a valuable aircraft for various combat scenarios. The F-22 Raptor, developed by Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and General Dynamics, is the first fifth-generation fighter and represents a significant leap in air combat technology. With a maximum speed of 1,499 miles per hour, the F-22 is designed for air dominance and can engage both enemy aircraft and ground targets with precision. It is equipped with a 20 mm AIM-61 A2 Vulcan cannon and a range of air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles. The F-22's stealth capabilities, super cruise feature, and advanced avionics enable it to launch missiles and drop precision-guided bombs from internal compartments, maintaining its stealth profile. The Su-57, another fifth-generation Russian fighter, is designed to replace the Su-27 and boasts a top speed of 1,516 miles per hour. Although much about the Su-57 remains classified, it is known for its size, which is larger than the F-22, but smaller than the Su-27. The Su-57 features stealth technology, supersonic cruising speed, and high maneuverability. It is equipped with advanced electronics and can operate in unmanned mode with artificial intelligence or by an operator from long distances. Its advanced features and performance ensure that it remains a significant player in the global fighter aircraft arena. The Eurofighter Typhoon is a cutting-edge, fourth-generation multi-role fighter jet, currently being mass-produced. This impressive aircraft is used by the air forces of Germany, Italy, Spain, Great Britain, Austria, and Saudi Arabia. With a top speed of 1,150 miles per hour, the Typhoon is known for its remarkable agility and power. An international partnership between Great Britain, Germany, Italy, and Spain led to the development of a new advanced engine for the Typhoon. This engine can be taken apart and reassembled in just 45 minutes, and it allows the Typhoon to fly at supersonic speeds without needing the afterburner. According to the Eurofighter company, the plane can cruise at speeds of up to 600 kilometers per h without afterburners. However, tests in Singapore revealed that in hot weather conditions, the maximum speed without afterburners while carrying a combat load is around 798 miles per hour. The Su-35 is a Russian multi-role fighter jet known for its extraordinary maneuverability, capable of speeds up to 1,726 miles per hour. It represents a significant upgrade from the Su-27, with a new, stronger airframe. Unlike its predecessor, the Su-35 doesn't have a front horizontal tail or brake flaps. Instead, it uses rudder deflection to brake during landing. The Su-35 features advanced technology, including the IUS-35 Information and Management System and electronic warfare equipment. Its cockpit is equipped with 3 multi-screen displays and a holographic indicator on the windshield. For added safety, the aircraft includes the L-535 radiation warning system. The Su-27 Flanker is a prime example of Soviet engineering innovation, boasting a top speed of 1,788 miles per hour. It was the first Russian jet to use a fly-by-wire control system, showcasing technology that was ahead of its time. Designed for air superiority, the Su-27 was built to compete with new American fighters like the F-15 Eagle. Armed with a powerful 30 mm gun and 10 external pylons, it can carry various air-to-air missiles, including heat-seeking and medium-range types. Its performance in aerial combat has earned it a reputation as a formidable opponent. Even 43 years after its first flight in 1977, the Su-27 Flanker remains a symbol of excellence in military aviation, with several modern variants still in use today. The McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle is a fourth-generation American fighter jet designed for all-weather operations and air superiority. It can reach an impressive maximum speed of 1,872 miles per hour. The F-15's durability is evident, as it can withstand impacts from 20mm high-explosive fragmentation projectiles without losing the aircraft. Its fuel is distributed among 6 tanks, 4 in the fuselage and 2 in the wings. The softer fuselage tanks are prioritized over the wing tanks. The F-15 features autonomous power systems with individual supply tanks and a ringing system to enhance its operational independence. Most fuel lines are housed within the tanks to improve efficiency. For added safety, the tanks are shielded to withstand bullets up to 12.7 mm in caliber, reducing the risk of explosions. Additionally, the tanks are filled with urethane foam, highlighting a strong commitment to safety in the F-15's design and operation. These top fighter aircraft each offer a blend of speed, agility, and advanced technology, reflecting the ongoing evolution of military aviation. From the versatile Super Hornet to the cutting-edge Su-57, each aircraft showcases the advancements in aerospace engineering and highlights the complex requirements of modern air combat. Their unique capabilities make them standout performers in their respective roles, contributing to their impressive reputations in the world of aviation. In the thrilling world of aerospace advancements, progress is not confined to just fighter aircraft. The realm of rocket technology is experiencing equally remarkable strides. SpaceX's Starship rocket, the epitome of cutting-edge innovation, recently demonstrated its capabilities during its third test flight, marking a significant milestone in space exploration. The two-part Starship rocket launched successfully from Texas, embarking on an ambitious mission to send its upper stage around the globe for a re-entry over the Indian Ocean. This flight was particularly noteworthy because it followed a series of setbacks. Last year, SpaceX's 120-meter-tall rocket had two explosive failures shortly after liftoff in both April and November. This time, however, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk's hopes for a better result were met with success. The rocket roared to life with a thunderous blast from its 33 engines, executing each phase of its ascent with precision. The lower stage, known as the booster, separated seamlessly from the upper stage, or ship, just 2 minutes and 44 seconds into the flight. The upper stage then soared over the Atlantic and southern Africa, with video cameras capturing awe-inspiring images of Earth from over 100 miles above. However, the mission was not without challenges. The next hurdle was re-entry, where the ship was intended to splash down in the ocean. Video footage revealed dramatic scenes of hot gases enveloping the vehicle just before radio contact was lost. Unfortunately, controllers later confirmed that the ship had likely broken apart upon re-entry. The booster, which was supposed to decelerate and make a controlled landing near the Texas coast, came in too quickly and was lost before reaching the water. Additionally, the ship was expected to restart its engine for re-entry. But this crucial step did not occur due to reasons that are still under investigation. Despite these issues, engineers are optimistic about the progress. Elon Musk has even promised up to 6 more test flights this year, reflecting his confidence in Starship's potential. Starship is not just any rocket. It represents a revolutionary leap in space travel. With its 33 engines generating 74 meganewtons of thrust, it surpasses the power of any previous rockets, even those that carried astronauts to the moon in the 1960s and 70s. The rocket is designed to be fully reusable and prepared for rapid relaunches, akin to how airplanes are refueled and readied for flight. This capability could dramatically cut the cost of space missions, making space more accessible than ever before. For Musk, Starship is integral to his ambitious Starlink project, which aims to establish a global network of broadband internet satellites. With over 5,000 satellites already in orbit, Starship will be able to launch even more, as demonstrated by the successful testing of a door mechanism for releasing future Starlink satellites during this flight. Moreover, Starship is key to Musk's long-standing vision of sending humans and supplies to Mars to build a colony. NASA, the U.S. space agency, is closely watching these developments. Starship is a crucial component of NASA's Artemis program, designed to return astronauts to the moon this decade. A special version of Starship will act as a landing craft, ferrying the crew from lunar orbit to the moon's surface and back. Before this can happen, SpaceX must prove Starship's safety and reliability, with NASA aiming to see these benchmarks met by late 2026. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, has announced an investigation into the mission's outcome, a standard procedure to review both successes and areas for improvement. As we uncover these astonishing revelations about aerospace advancements, one pressing question remains: what other secret technology might still be hidden from the public?